Welcome to New York City, a balmy 83 degrees today, and it pits two teams that are going in opposite directions this season. The 3-4 Chicago Dragons, the 7-0 New York Lightning. But Chicago wants to right the wrongs of their loss last week against St. Louis. New York just wants to keep things moving, Mr. Gerald Smith, because while they have not blown out a ton of their opponents, they are stacking wins at the top of the UFL ticket.
Yeah, look, and that's what it's all about, Cam, is winning. Winning at all costs. A win is a win, no matter how you get it done, and they've done 7 straight. While on the other side, they're visiting an opponent, right? 1-2 straight out of the last 3 games, but lost last week. And they've actually had 2 overtime games that they played in this season as well. But we're going to see how this is going to shake out on a warm spring, and almost summer is almost here, Cam.
Chicago kicks it off, and New York gets the return out to the 26-yard line. That's where Joe Francis will take the snaps for New York. He has 11 touchdowns, just 3 picks this season. 1,719 yards, has been very efficient for New York. They'll start with Jupiter Jennings on the ground. He'll pick up 1, and this New York Lightning offense is stacked up front. You've got the notables Connor Urich at left tackle trying to protect Francis's blind side. Jazz Almir, Robert Henson Jr., Declan James, and more. That's where New York is special.
And that's what they did just last weekend. They had over 200 yards on the ground against New Orleans, and it was not anything good.
Jupiter Jennings takes that carry. He's going to lose 2 yards, so 3rd down and 11. Good start for the Chicago defense. That's Jamal Spencer on the tackle.
Yeah, and look, and that's something we saw last week, right? With New York being able to come in, because Jennings himself had over 100 yards, and then from the fullback position, Robert Henson had one, just as well, over 100 yards. So we're going to see if they're going to try and keep that going. If they can keep that thing going just like that on the ground, or are they going to put it in the air?
3rd down and 11. Francis drops to throw. He's got a clean pocket, trying to move the sticks, and coming open just at the last second, it's Mark Anthony picking up 26 yards and a New York 1st down.
Yeah, and give credit to that O-line, Cam. Look at him right here, just sitting right back there. Throw a little bit of a wobbly ball, but either way it goes, it looks pretty close right now. I don't know, did he drag a toe, Cam? Looked like he kind of got it in there. I don't know, but calling it a catch, 1st down.
And look at that. Chicago's going to challenge on the 3rd play of the game, so we're going to get another look at it. I don't think he got it.
I don't think he got it either.
On first glance, Gerald, I thought that he did get it, but that's a heck of a challenge from Chicago. And if New York goes 3 and out on that opening possession, which they're going to, that is a win for the Chicago Dragons, who gave up 37 last week to St. Louis.
Yeah, definitely good start defensively for them, right, to be able to slow down the run game and get them relatively no yards and get some TFLs, and then force them to throw it out. I think it was a little bit mistake by Chicago there on that path, but either way it goes, you got them in a 3rd and long and force them to do something that they typically don't do.
Adam Wiseman is the quarterback for Chicago. 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Has struggled with the turnovers as of late. Jason Williams takes the handoff and picks up 8 yards. Williams has been a bright spot, a new addition to the Chicago Dragons offense, averaging 4.6 yards a carry, 5 touchdowns, 634 yards, and we got a penalty. And it moves them back. That is the struggles, Gerald, of a team that's just trying to stack some wins.
Yeah, look, and you can't have it, right? You're not doing yourself any favors by actually, shooting yourself in the foot there and pushing back, especially if you had a 2nd and short.
Handoff to Williams, and he'll be brought down pretty quickly by Kalen Polk at middle linebacker. This Chicago team, not different to New York, just a little lighter in talent, but still K. Marion, Byleth Thomas are your best weapons on the outside.
Yeah, and they got some good players on offense, right? Wow, Wiseman at quarterback, Williams running back, Thomas and Marion on the outsides.
3rd down and 7. This is where Chicago's looking to make the most improvement today. They really struggled on 3rd down last week. Wiseman's got all day to throw, and the pass is incomplete. Was looking for K. Marion. Now, the problem for Chicago last week wasn't that they weren't catching passes. It was just simply that they weren't giving themselves a chance throwing short of the sticks. Wiseman certainly gave Marion a chance on that, but that pass broken up by Antonio Dawson.
Yeah, and I don't think Wiseman really saw what was going on, right? He could have threw it a little bit shorter to the wide receiver that was a little bit there. Maybe even got it because all he needed was 7 to be able to pick up. Went a little bit too far and threw it quite a dangerous pass because the DB had their eyes on it.
This punt is going to roll inside the 10, and it's going to die at the 6-yard line. Excellent punt there from Ryan Myers of Chicago, and so far more defense than offense in a game that I maybe more expected, or I expect plenty of points today, Gerald.
Yeah, and look, and that's the thing, like especially Chicago, right? They're wanting to try and turn this stuff around, Cam, and for you're visiting an undefeated team. They're really confident, right now, and in their play. When you get an opportunity, you get them to go 3 and out. You gotta can't go just straight a 3 and out because it doesn't give you much confidence on your side.
1st and 10 at the 6. Francis will try to get confidence back to Mark Anthony, who got his first catch overturned. He picks up 8 yards on the sideline. 2nd and 2.
He made sure he got his feet in on that one. I could just imagine the conversation being had and say, "No, man, you kind of messed us up last time. Get those feet in."
Handoff Robert Henson Jr., who gets annoyed when he does unnecessary jukes. Could have used one there. Runs right into Garrett Ramsey for a loss of 2.
Yeah, and it's 3rd and 3 again, right? Can Chicago get another 3 and out? Because they're kind of stuck back in their own territory right here, right inside their own 15-yard line. And I mean, if Chicago can come up and get them again, they might get pretty good field position on their second drive, but. The run game, if New York does what they do in the run game right here, Chicago's pretty good, at stopping them so far. We'll see.
Francis on a 3rd down and 3 over the middle, and a hospital pass if I've ever seen one, intended for Barry Maxwell. And Gerald, I'd love another look at it because that's as close to pass interference as you can get.
He was and it was Ray Neal Brown right there. I think that was more of a good play. Cam watched it. It didn't touch him, just came right around him. Later knocked the ball out right there. Brown with a heads up play from his free safety position, be able to come in there and knock the ball down. And when's the last time we've seen New York had back-to-back 3 and outs to start a game?
And that's been New York's weakness for most of this season. They would argue somewhat last season as well. The inconsistency on offense, especially when they feel like they're playing down to their opponent. Now there's a late flag on this play. I didn't see that. That's a 15-yard face mask penalty on Owens. That's going to move Chicago to the New York 30.
See, look, and I actually thought it may have been some sort of a horse collar, right? Whenever he brought him down, because he kind of got tackled awkwardly, because I didn't see the face mask at all either.
1st down and 10, 8:18 to go in the 1st quarter. And Wiseman's got a clean pocket going to the end zone, and it is incomplete on a jump ball near the pylon. Let's take a look at the New York Lightning defense, led by Kane Vasquez in the back end, but Rowan Cassidy, Michaela Foraker up front. Of course, the big acquisition from Los Angeles. The linebacker core is an ever-improving unit. Bjorn McLean, Portius Bacon also in the secondary.
Man, what a play right there. If you're the wide receiver, Cam, had 2 hands on it, you got to bring that down regardless of who's trying to swat it at you, because that was a ball should have brought down.
Play fake roll, Wiseman, pass complete, and it's just shy of a 1st down. The knee was down. Amos Huval with the catch, so 3rd and inches, another 3rd down opportunity for the Dragons.
Yeah, and this is when you want to get, you talked about him earlier, right? Jason Williams in here, if you're right in inches, and coming out in the shotgun. We're going to see if they're going to hand it off.
And they're going to throw. It's Wiseman over the middle. Marion, touchdown from 21 yards out. And Chicago strikes first on the road in New York.
And this is coming after last week, Cam, where Weissman had no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And what do? They primarily had their drives with throwing the ball. They take the opportunity. I'm saying, hey, run the ball to continue on the drive because of the luck you've been having. But what they do, they just go for it all and hit the wide receiver for a touchdown. And they now took the lead, and they got some momentum right now.
For Marion, that's touchdown number 2 on the season. Denard Byam, Amos YOUFL, and Bila Thomas all with 2. Now along with Marion, so 21 and 7 are your first bingo numbers off the board today. Vertical is going to get you a win, and the numbers last through the doubleheader of Coast to Coast today. Back to what I was saying, Gerald, about New York. Sometimes their offense, when you think that they should be scoring 30 or 40 points against some of the lower levels of the UFL, it's not the case. They scored 20 points against 2-5 Vegas. They scored 16 points against winless Rochester. Last week they got 27 up on New Orleans, but the Claws kept that one close, 27-19. But they also can score 40 against Phoenix, 41 against Miami. So they're just such a mixed bag, and Chicago's put the jump on them in the early goings of this one.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things, Cam, where you like make it make sense.
Sometimes in life, things just don't make sense. As New York returns that up to the 30-yard line. That's Declan James on the return. So Joe Francis will try it again for New York. They had over 200 yards rushing last week. The New York Lightning, the third best rushing team in the league, at 143.3 yards per game behind only San Diego and Dakota. The handoff goes to Robert Henson, and Henson makes a move and picks up 10 on his best run of the game, and New York's got a first down.
And what about the blocking right there on the left side, right? You mentioned earlier, right, the left tackle being pretty much of a stud on that end, but seals the edge and allows a huge running lane for Henson to kind of get up in there and get a chunk of yardage, and look, you got wide receivers blocking down the field too, which is really good. I don't know. Look like Roberts got some. It said he gets upset when he jukes, but I don't know. He had a little something right there, man. It got missed.
Well, that's what's funny, right? If you take all the juke out of the talent, then all of a sudden you need the juke, and you say, wait a minute, I want that back. Jupiter Jennings got plenty of juke, and he picks up 8 yards. Back-to-back good runs for the Lightning, sets up 2nd and 2.
Yeah, and he navigated really well. Cam, I don't know if you can block like that up in the middle, but look at the lineman cut a linebacker down right there. But no call there. But look, Jennings didn't waste it. Did not waste the no call. Got 8.
For the most part, UFL refs look the other way. We like that about them. 2nd down and 2 as Francis will fire it. Mark Anthony breaking off a tackle. That was Carmelo Breeze getting shook. Another first down for New York.
Yeah, and it looks like, New York is, finding somewhat of a rhythm right here. And, it seemed like it took them to get a punch in the mouth before they decided, yeah, let's wake up and play some ball.
Yeah, woke them up a little bit as that gets a couple more on the ground. The Chicago defense improved in free agency, but a lot of no-namers. Eric Winter, the defensive tackle up front, is a name to watch. Jamal Sparks, very good at middle linebacker. Aldrin Maxwell has had a nice couple of games his last 2 times out. And then this secondary struggled to make tackles early in the season. That's been a point of emphasis for the Dragons over the last month.
Yeah, and they've actually, you've seen, some difference on the back end too, where one of the DBs came in and knocked that ball down to, to force a punt that, where they got the.
Yeah, that's Brown you were mentioning on the that 3rd down stop. Now Chicago has a chance to do it again, 3rd and 7.
Now look, and this is where you want to stop, right when New York is somewhat getting a little bit of rhythm and everything else. They come up with a big stop right here. They can keep the momentum they had.
Francis play fake, clean pocket, fires to the sideline. Jazz Altmere with that sweet music down to the Chicago 22 for a New York first down.
Yeah, and look, and you can't allow this guy to get that wide open. Somewhat of a little bit of a breakdown in coverage. You just sat right there on the sideline because Francis had a ton of time, and there's nobody within 5 yards of him to catch the ball. That was too easy for them right there on 3rd down. That's
Maxwell on the tackle for Chicago. New York in their all blacks, as they often do at home. Chicago rocking the all whites in opposite. Francis, floater, fader, end zone. Oh, it did not come down with it. Inbounds. Oh, a killer.
He got a foot in for sure. It looked like him in real time. Looked like he got a foot in, just wasn't able to get the other one in.
That would have been from 22. Second down and 10. Henson cuts it left. There's a flag. I think that might have been a hold downfield. Maybe the refs. Oh, blocking it. Maybe the refs don't look the other way, Gerald. Bree Maxwell got called.
Yeah, but Maxwell, and it pushes them back, Cam, quite a bit.
That is a rare penalty in the UFL. Second and 19. Play action. Go for the gusto. Caught it. Touchdown, Mark Anthony from 31 yards out.
What a catch, Cam. Look, and we're going to see this again right there. Threw it quick, recognized, threw it right in between the safety and the corner, and Anthony just almost laid out. He one-handed it, Cam. Look at this.
Oh.
This is bobbled it.
He pinned it to his body, Gerald.
Wow. I can't believe that catch. I actually want to watch it again.
Last week, we saw a Dakota receiver, and I don't know his name because it was his only catch he's had all season long. On 4th and long, he pinned it to his shoulder. Now, this time, we see a pass that essentially, a one-handed attempt by Anthony. It was knocked around, and then it just wound up in his stomach at the end of the play. It's one of the greatest catches ever.
That was amazing. Like in real time, watching it from up here, it didn't look as, it was still a great pass and catch. It didn't look quite as spectacular until we saw the one-handed attempt, and it was just jostling around before he hit the ground. He was able to secure it and get his team a touchdown to tie.
Chicago on the return, and everyone around the league is saying, what are we going to do to beat this team? Because they just find a way.
Yeah, and that's what they do. If you go back and look at history, all football teams and everything like that, right? There's always these plays you look at that it could have went either way, that the team who wins the championship or gets on this long winning streak makes those plays regardless of what happens. It's like sometimes the luck is on your side as well.
Wiseman slinging it, and both quarterbacks unafraid to go deep in the early going. Wiseman out 3 of 5 for 44 yards, first down to the 38. That's Thomas's first catch.
And it's going to be interesting to see how Chicago tries to answer.
Oh, man, they're called for another false start, and that is our 4th penalty of the first quarter.
It sets you so far back. First and 15.
Wiseman, play action roll. He's going to dump it off to Williams. Williams has a little bit of space in the flat, picks up 3 yards. That's the kind of stuff they were doing on 3rd down, driving their fans crazy last week, but on 1st and 15 gets a little back.
Yeah, right there, man. I would have liked to see Williams, right, just turn around and turn it right up. It's like he turned around, expected to get hit as soon as he turned, but no one was around, and he just stuttered a little bit.
Empty 5 wide against the blitz. That throw to the sideline is complete. Porcius Bacon with that tackle. Kane Vasquez with the one before. 3rd and 8, Chicago.
We're going to see how they're going to do this here. 3rd and 8, 3rd and long. I mean, because you got Thomas and Marion out there.
Wiseman, play fake, looking deep, caught at the 35 of New York. Pass hauled in by Denard Byam, and the 3rd down offense for Chicago looks so much better this week.
Look, Cam, give credit to the offensive line right there, right? You give them, enough time right there. The wide receiver, especially in the zone that they were playing right there, he just came right across, got behind the linebackers, in front of the deeper DBs in a safety position, and Wiseman didn't miss him, hit him in stride.
8 passes, 2 runs in the opening quarter as Wiseman drops to throw. He will fling it near side, caught by Thomas. A gain of 5 on the play.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good after that 3rd and long, right? They come out and still slinging it around, doing their stuff, Cam, and they just look. Everybody comes out in the shotgun in the UFL, Cam.
And off Williams, not much there. Stuck at the line. We'll set up another 3rd and 4. This is I think the 4th third down of the first quarter already.
Yeah, and they're, and it's a very third and manageable here, for them to actually do it. Look, they can put it on the ground if they need to, and I do think they can pick it up the way they kind of, trying to spread them out.
Wiseman 3rd and 4, picked off, thrown behind the intended target, and Dawson rips it away for the first turnover of the ball game.
Yeah, and Wiseman did not get enough air under it, Cam. He threw it a little bit flat, and it just didn't. Once the DB saw it the entire time, he didn't want to throw a little bit too far, seen the safety up top, but still wanted to get it to him. I just thought, man, it was way too flat, slightly behind by him. That's not what you wanted on this drive because you was looking so good moving the ball on the New York defense.
That is Dawson's first interception of the season and New York's only 5th interception in 8 games. 27 seconds to go in the first quarter, and Francis has a fresh set of downs at the 18-yard line. Francis again with a clean pocket, this time going to take off and run. Francis doesn't do that often. He'll pick up 3.
Yeah, he didn't see much of nothing downfield, Cam. He said, hey, our best chance of getting yards right here is just me tucking it and running. But he still had a lot of time. Pocket was clean.
13 carries, 28 yards for Francis today. They will not get another playoff before the end of the quarter, and we are tied heading into the second. Welcome to the UFL's presentation of Coast to Coast in week number 8. Chicago 7, New York 7 in a battle of big cities. Alongside Gerald Smith, I'm Cameron Irvine here with you today as we start the second quarter of play with a Jupiter Jennings run, and Jennings will pick up a yard, 3rd and 5.
If Chicago can somehow muster a 3 and out right here, Cam, similar to what they did, on their first 2 defensive drives, I think they might be able to get a little bit of that momentum back.
Francis, deep shot on a corner, striking complete. That one defended by Lawyer Manson. Francis unable to connect with his target down the field, and New York will have to punt.
Yeah, I'm not sure right there what he was seeing. Look, yeah, you had Anthony playing defense back there. He's like, I got to push the defender down so he doesn't catch it. But
did a pretty good job too.
Yeah. So, but he just kind of threw it up there, kind of 50-50 ball, looking for something downfield, maybe a penalty or something like that. But, Chicago, right, still hanging in there with the unbeaten.
Up to the 35-yard line on the return. Get your UFL gear at UFLshop.com. Stocked with the best tees, sweatshirts, flags, and more. A Printful partnership, all made in the USA for easy shipping. It's UFL you can wear at UFLshop.com. I got to get my VFN gear, man. 1st and 10 at the 35. Adams, pass, a bobble, and incomplete as Wiseman got hit as he threw. That one still almost got to the receiver.
Yeah, and it was a shotgun he shot out because that was quite the bullet pass flying out there, but it kind of bobbled around for a little bit too. Defense had an opportunity to pick it up.
2nd and 10, Wiseman straight away. Got one block on the outside, but Marion can't do much with that. So 3rd down and 10, Cross with the second tackle. Cassian Cross at corner, 5'11", 190. 3rd down and 10, Chicago. Out of the shotgun, 3 wide. A W12. Nice. Oh, but he actually had his arm hit by his own lineman on the release. I'm not quite sure if it would have been a 1st down, but the pocket collapses on Wiseman, and now Chicago's got to punt it away.
Yeah, so unfortunate, especially when your offensive lineman was just, free, just kind of standing around, monitoring, see who's going to get up and who to run a block, and it bumped right into him right when he was looking to get the ball out to his teammate, and missed opportunity there, possibly a missed opportunity.
And this is the thing, Gerald, about the UFL. Everybody knows out there that, all these teams are pretty well coached. They're not gonna go too crazy. They're not gonna give you some some wild game plan you're not expecting. But, you know, every game is a slugfest. And even though Chicago's 3-4 and New York's 7-0, this game certainly does not feel like their records are that far apart, at least thus far. Robert Henson on the carry picks up 2.
Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier, Cam, right? You know, and just a recent memory, right? You've actually got Chicago that had won 2 in a row, you know, going into last week, and they lost. But New York isn't blowing anybody out either, right? A lot of games that they played, the bulk of their games, right, was only 1-score games.
Francis to throw against some pressure, dumped it off short. That is complete. That's Eden Hart getting into the box score, the 6'3" tight end.
We're gonna see what they come out, right? In my opinion, I say, look, this is Henson or Jennings territory. Look at my Henson in the backfield right there.
Henson going to stay in and block. They're going to dump it off short. Eden Hart ran out of bounds. The momentum carries her to the sideline, and New York's coaching staff says, well, that's not how we drew it up.
No, not at all. And she just couldn't. Her momentum took them out. You know, took it out of bounds. And man, you gotta know where the sideline's at.
That's one of those situations, Gerald, where if they're on the right hash, that's a first down, right? But they were on the left hash, and it went out of bounds, and they ran out of space. It's the little things.
Yeah, definitely, and it's not. Cam, we've had quite a bit of 3 and outs in this game from both squads. It looked like, hey, look, they go down there and look really good offensively, and then they come out and hey, there's 3 and outs.
A breakneck pace of change of possession. Wiseman with a play action fake. Got to get rid of it. Wiseman will not. Goes down for the sack. Rowan Cassidy with the takedown. An 11-yard loss.
And Cassidy came in, and we're going to call that, Cam, a coverage sack right there because Wiseman had enough opportunity. And you can see Cassidy just working over there and was able to finally get loose. And I mean, as a quarterback like Wiseman, I mean, you got to break the pocket. He's coming right at you. You got to either get rid of it or try and spin out of it, and just couldn't do it.
I thought Wiseman might have been able to get the ball to the top of the screen. There was some press coverage up there, but there must have been some safety help, and Cassidy now has 4 sacks, leading the Lightning in sacks this season. The handoff goes to Jason Williams. Williams almost got through everybody. Bacon ends up saving a touchdown. It'll set up a 3rd and 12.
Okay, but if you'd have broke that, would have been saying that you go from a sack to a home run type run right there. But he actually made it a little bit easier on 3rd down after that sack.
3rd down and 12. Wiseman drops to throw. Wiseman's got just a 3-man rush and eventually finds an open receiver down the field. Wow, that was Denard Byam somehow getting free. 1st down, Chicago.
Byam again, the 2nd time, Cam, on a big 3rd down that they needed. Here he comes, just coming right across the field.
Woo.
It's like they lost him in coverage, and he gets walloped, but still hangs on to the ball.
There were 2 defenders that were, at one point anyway, around Byam. I don't know how they lost him, but it's a 1st and 10 at the New York 48-yard line. Wiseman with the quick throw to the outside. That is a pickup of 4. And to Anthony in the chat who said screens never work, that just got 5 yards.
Right. Look, and Cam, on a previous play, you got to think, right? You know, defenders tend to end up losing their wide receiver because once a certain time elapses, right, the DB's like, I got to look back. Maybe the quarterback's running. They probably lost sight of him that way.
Williams chugging forward. That play stood no chance. They're going to mark it just short, 3rd down.
And this is very, very manageable right here too. I mean, Ray Williams has been running. I mean, you would think that it's a shoo-in to give him the ball.
3rd and inches with the fullback present. Handoff to Williams, running left. He's got it and more. Williams up to the 35-yard line on his 6th carry.
Yeah, that was pretty easy right there. The first time they come out under center like that and just do it, but they had really good blocking up front, and it made it real easy for him to pick up, about 4 yards to get his team the 1st down. But Cam, I like the way that they're playing this right now, right? The offensive line is actually blocking pretty well, and given enough time. I mean, the receivers, whether it's man coverage or zone, right? They're finding some sort of a void there, and Wiseman's been finding them.
Chicago's controlled the pace of this 1st half. Handoff to Williams is going to be dropped for a loss. They've been able to maintain pretty good angle on time of possession. That's Cain Vasquez's 4th solo already.
Yeah, and he wasted no time just getting right up in there and beat the offensive lineman with his, a little bit of speed right there. Offensive lineman just couldn't get to him quick enough, and from the safe position, Vasquez coming there and just shutting that down.
2nd down 11 at the New York 37-yard line. Under 5 to go in the first half. They'll give it off to Williams again. He is thrown backwards by Kalen Polk. Another 3rd and long for Chicago, but they've been delivering thus far.
Yeah, look, and if I'm Chicago, I'm saying, hey, give us time, give Wiseman time, and Byam's going to find himself open somewhere. Watch this.
Wiseman against a corner blitz, throws the opposite direction, but could not find that man Byam. It'd be a 54-yarder from here.
Cam, Byam was open. It was just not a very good throw. He ran a really good route. He had separation. Yeah. Look at him.
Sheesh.
Wow.
You can't get much more open than that. They're going to kick a 54-yard field goal. We saw a 60-yarder made last week by St. Louis. That was a UFL record. This from 54.
Oh.
Well, we got a flag on the kick. They ran the kicker. No. What is happening today?
They roughed the kicker. What is Spencer doing? You can't do that.
That's the first time this season a roughing the kicker's been called.
And it gives Chicago new life.
Wow. First down with 4:10 to go in the first half. Wiseman play fake, end zone, almost in the same spot as Francis got his. That is incomplete.
Yeah, Kay's got to come up with that, Cam. I don't even think anyone knocked it out. She just dove out, had positioning, had it in her hands, and couldn't keep it as she was going to the ground.
2nd down and 10. Wiseman will check it into the flat. A little bit of room there for Williams. 9 of 16 for 118 yards. Will set up a 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, it makes it a lot more manageable here. I mean, look, and we know that they're going to pass right here, coming out, man. But I know they're kicking themselves in the foot, Cam, the previous play, especially Kay herself, dropping that pass. And, depending on how this plays out, it could have changed the game. You're looking up a full score. Or if you don't pick this up, you're forced to try a field goal attempt.
3rd down and 5 for Chicago. 3:43 to go in the first half. Wiseman will fire. It is almost intercepted off the deflection. Looking for Thomas, so it might end up in a field goal anyway.
Yeah, it's just, man, I know they're just kicking themselves right now and everything else. And, I was by him. He was going for.
Oh, it hit him in the shoulder off the deflection.
Yeah. Get him doing some tip drill stuff. But man, what a missed opportunity, especially on that first down play after that penalty. Being able to have an opportunity to kind of put a touchdown on the board and drop. That's huge. And we're gonna see how impactful that's gonna be depending on how the game plays out.
34-yarder, no penalty. That kick is good. So 34 and 10 off the board, and Chicago will retake the lead late here in the first half as we get your updated bingo numbers up on the screen.
That's important for Chicago as well, right? Being happy right there, especially the way the game's been going so far. We're nearly through a whole half of football, only 17 points on the board, and we get a string of a whole streak of 3 and outs, and then we get some decent looking drives. Cam, we got a bunch of penalties. It's been quite a game so far.
We're a little hot in the broadcast booth here in this 83-degree weather here in New York, but I was looking up the weather for our second game of our coast-to-coast doubleheader, Gerald, and by mistake, I put in Sioux Falls because, Dakota's playing Wichita later. Well, I put in Sioux Falls, and I got a tornado warning alert, and I thought, holy hell, how are we going to play this game? How are we going to play this game? And then I realized, they're on the road this week. They're in Wichita, so I went to Wichita. 24-mile-an-hour sustained winds coming up in the second game of Coast to Coast. That's going to be a wild one.
Might be a ground game. Not many field goals.
Flip out to Eden Hart. Stays in bounds this time, but just a 1 yard pickup there for New York. Hart's got 3 catches, but just 7 yards.
Yeah, and one of those is when she caught a pass and kind of went out of bounds as well. So
Handoff Henson, and Chicago is there. Their run defense has been quite good today. So far this season, they're 12th in the UFL in run defense, so that's been impressive.
Yeah, and that's something, especially the way New York ran the ball last week, right? Having 200+ yards on the ground. 2 different people had 100 yards.
Francis, 3rd and 7, goes for the gusto. Oh, mirror, it's underthrown, and the pass dies on Francis deep, and they'll have to punt.
Cam, I thought that was a home run ball. He had him by at least 3 yards, but it was underthrown. Maybe some of that 24-mile-an-hour wind came this way and pushed the ball back, but man, that was another missed opportunity there, Cam. Like for another team. I mean, he hits him in stride. That's a touchdown.
4th down, New York. They got a punt again. It feels like their offense. What's their longest drive, Gerald? Maybe 5-6 plays. I mean, they just have not had anything sustained today, and the Dragons back out there to try to extend the lead before the half.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's this 80+ degree heat in New York, and they haven't really had a whole lot of that, right? Me living in upstate New York myself, and it's definitely a warm day than what we've had so far this year.
You're loving it. You got the window open. That's why it's hot in here. You just shut that thing. Byam over the middle to the 43-yard line. Got another first down. Denard Byam all over the place. The former Fresno Bobcat with 439 yards coming into the game, 2nd on the team.
Yeah, and he's making plays.
2 minutes to go. Chicago trying to pull the upset as the UFL's Week 8 slates get started. From the Big Apple, I'm Cameron Irvine. Gerald Smith is your analyst today. Wiseman will dump it to the 39 of New York for a first down. Marion with the catch.
Yeah, K. Marion right there on a little bit of a stop route, right? Going down the field and being able to get it. Real easy pitch and catch, right, for these two between Wiseman and Marion, right? Having a whole lot of space, uncontested for the most part. You know, and they get themselves right back into New York territory.
Chicago testing this pass defense, 9th in yards allowed per game, but 4th best in QB efficiency. That's good for New York's defense, just to be clear. Wiseman on first down and 10 will fire at middle. That is complete to Byleth Thomas up to the 24-yard line, but New York hasn't faced many receiving groups like Chicago's.
No, look, and they have a good set right here, and look, and Wiseman is still sticking to it, right? Being able to get in there and hold true, and run good routes, and New York is kind of questioning. Hey, look, they got 3 decent guys involved so far, right? You got Marion, you got Thomas, and you got Byam coming out of nowhere making catches as well.
Minute 11 to go in the first half. Wiseman on I thought that was going to be a penalty as well. Byam with a catch on a little stick route. 2nd and 5. It's his 5th grab already.
Yeah, and he's got 79 yards. The only thing he don't have yet is a TD so far, but he's their leading receiver right now.
2nd down and 5 for Wiseman from the 19. That pass is dumped where they've been sending that corner blitz. Feels like a lot today. Cross was the blitzer, 3rd and 1.
Yeah, they're getting hot. They're trying to figure out something that they can do to because a lot of times back there, Wiseman's got a lot of time, right? Since makes people try to shut down this passing attack.
Wiseman, 3rd and 1, going to throw again. Hit as he threw. The pass is caught. Touchdown. A 14-yard score. It's Byam again, and Chicago takes a 2-score lead.
Byam has been the hot hand, and Wiseman says, you know what, we're going to ride that hot hand. And New York sent about 6 people in there, Cam, so they had to depend on their linebackers and DBs to hold true, and it didn't. And Byam has been finding himself pretty free for a lot of this game so far. But look, and now here they are. Now they got themselves a 2-score lead.
Byam so far this season has had 2 games in which he's caught 8 passes. That's top 25 in the league, but he's got 6 in this first half, having one of the better days of his career, unclaimed, as Chicago's extra point is good. 14 and 17 come off the board as the bingo numbers continue to flow on vertical day. Don't forget that these numbers will carry over to our second game of our coast-to-coast doubleheader with Tyler Falk, Josh Circle coming up. Wichita and Dakota, 4-3 Flyers, 6-1 Rhinos. And last year, Gerald, Wichita beat up Dakota pretty good. That was one of Dakota's come-to-Jesus moments last season.
Yeah, look, and that's the thing. You just can't go into any game, in any league, especially here, right? Because we know the talent they got across the entire, like you mentioned earlier, right? The coaching is top notch in this league. So I mean, you can't mail it in any week at all.
Chicago boots that away. Now all 3 timeouts and 28 seconds for the New York Lightning. So we'll see what they do to try to at least get into scoring range. There's Jazz Aldmere, who last we saw was the receiver of an underthrown deep ball. Aldmere had a chance at a touchdown earlier on a jump ball, only got 1 foot in bounds. It was Mark Anthony who ended up with the circus catch as they give the draw to Henson, and they'll call the timeout, which is annoying, Gerald, because, well, it's a 1s and 0s thing. But anyway, 2nd and 11. Now we'll see what they do.
Should we call in the AI expert? Like, what the heck is going on?
I could go into detail. I feel like I'm gonna spend the entire rest of the second quarter trying to explain what that's all about. 2nd down and 11. Francis drops to throw. Francis fires over the middle. That pass is caught by Aldmere with a juke down to the 41 and a timeout. So now can New York get a clock stoppage or get into field goal range on the next play?
Yeah, they gotta get themselves, they gotta get a chunk of yards here, right? Look, and they have 1 timeout to play with. Maybe they might start working the sidelines, or something like that to see what they got going on. But 18 seconds is plenty of time to get yourself about 30-ish yards, right, to put yourself in field goal range.
Francis from the 41-yard line, and he's going for it all again. Aldmere! Oh, it's knocked away at the goal line with 10 seconds to go. Another slightly underthrown football. That one not as bad, but still almost caught.
He had it in his hands, and when the defender hit him, Kevin knocked the ball out. They went for it all there.
10 seconds left now. Francis down to 6, down to 5. Sideline caught. 4 seconds. And they're not going to be in the field goal range. So we'll see if they do anything here in the Hail Mary department. Declan James with his first catch. Not a Hail Mary look, but they are dropping back deep. Francis maybe looking for something. Nope, just going to take the check down. That is the end of the first half, and New York runs out of time. Eden Hart with the reception, her best play down the field, but it doesn't result in anything. Instead, it results in a Chicago 10-point halftime advantage. There's your first half stats. Chicago winning just about everything besides the 1 interception. What a first half for the Chicago Dragons.
Yeah, look, and Cam, and they're the only team that actually had the full-on mistake, right? Because they were actually in New York territory, right, looking for more points when that interception had happened, and they're still able to kind of hold true, calm themselves down, and play good defense like they've been playing all game long so far. Because you got to think, right? New York last week, Cam, they actually ran for over 200 yards, and today they have not even 30 yards on the ground today, right? And so they're having to pass through the air, and Chicago has been doing their damnness and has been keeping this pass offense of New York from doing hardly any damage at all on them by only surrendering 1 score. And here it is. Chicago is actually going to get the second half kickoff, Cam. I mean, they might better go up, get another score.
from 1 yard outside the end zone on the return, and only to the 24. Still no kick return touchdowns in the UFL this season. Could New York have been looking ahead, Gerald? Next week they are at St. Louis for a Sunday afternoon game, which is just around the corner for the New York Lightning. And hey, you know, I mean, that's the two top teams in the East, and maybe New York, of course, they had the big game with Austin last week in the Battle of Unbeatens as Williams takes off and picks up 11 more. So Chicago's sandwiched in between a couple of big-time matchups for New York, and hey, maybe they overlook these Dragons.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because, you know, I mean, because, you know, like you said, Chicago is 3-4, right? Before they went on their 2-game win streak, right, they were 1-3. No one was given much of a chance. They win 2 games, right, end up 3-3, and then, right, they lose last week. And New York thinking, hey, look, man, hey, we're 7-0. This team's going to come in here, and we're just going to wipe the floor with them, and then we're going to move on to bigger and better fish. But you got to play the games in front of you.
Good blocking again from Violet Thomas on the flip out to Marion. That picks up 4. 3 catches, but only 9 yards for Kay Marion. Marion so far this season averaging 87 yards a game. So New York's top corners have been all over that. Wiseman is sacked in the backfield. Tried to get rid of it at the last second, but Jake Benjamin comes up with the takedown. 3rd and 13, Chicago.
And these are the type of plays that New York's defense is going to have to come up with right there, right? Like, you know, play action. He was not fooled at all, and Wiseman had no chance to do anything at all. And good for him that he, you know, that ball didn't come out a little bit sooner. Got himself down, but we're going to see. Look, Cam, all game long, Byham's been coming up pretty good in these situations.
3rd and 13. Wiseman knew right where he was going. Byham down the field, 25 to the 23-yard line of New York. You called it, Gerald, and Wiseman knew exactly where he wanted to go with the football.
And he did, too, and he had somebody coming at him, too, and he threw it right there, right where it needed to be, right in front of Cain Vasquez doing it. Byham just grabbed it. He's on fire today, Cam. Somebody claim that man.
A season high in yardage for Byham, and that was on Cain Vasquez, one of New York's best players overall. We're going to see where that ranks for Byham. 138 yards for Byham today as that pass is nearly picked off. Polk in the flat.
Holy man, that could have all the momentum Chicago got back on. Got on the play from Byham right there. Could have got it all taken away, but it hits the turf.
2nd and 10 now. Out of the eye. Handoff Williams. Not much there. 37 yards on 10 carries. That run game just keeping New York honest.
Yeah, and Cam, look, that was a nervous call right there by the Tigers. Like, hey, look, let's just relax. We don't want to throw right here. Let's toss in a run so we don't get ourselves in a tough situation. Let's calm down a little bit.
Oh, they went play action counter, and Wiseman is decked in the backfield. Dawson with the sack. So, hey, sometimes the corner blitz can work. 3rd sack of the day for New York. They have been bringing the heat on 3rd down all day long.
Yeah, and he wasn't fooled. That's another one. I mean, they've been doing a lot of play action, and you know, as of late, Cam, they have not been being fooled by it. But you know, that huge play by Byham, even with the sack right here, they got a chance to just put some more points on the board.
44-yard field goal, and that kick is good from Eric Amaro, picked up from Cincinnati in the offseason. 44-20 off the board as Chicago extends their lead to 13.
And it's still within, 2-score reach right here for New York. So I mean, just a couple weeks ago, Cam, it looks like, New York put up 17 points in the 4th quarter, to kind of just pull away in that game. So we're gonna see if they can pull off some of that magic right here. I seen them in the chat say, "Hey, we've been down before, right? There's no give up in this squad, obviously, because they have not lost a game all season, so they're still motivated."
For everything UFL, visit the official league website at UFL.football to claim a player, learn more about the league, catch up on news and features, and dive into the leaderboards. UFL.football in partnership with Sidearm Sports. Joe Francis, 10 of 16, 113 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions today. You look at the total yards, 253 to 139 in favor of Chicago. Handoff Jennings. He's been very quiet today. He is blown up in the backfield, 9 yards on 6 carries. Maxwell back there.
Cam, last week, if I'm not mistaken, he had 109 yards on the ground. He's got 9. He's got 100 less than what he had last week. And Chicago's run defense doing a very, very good job and forcing New York to beat him through the pass.
2nd and 11, 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Chicago right now pulling a big upset. 7-0 New York, the last unbeaten team in the UFL. The handoff goes to Robert Henson. He's got a lot of space. Henson makes an ankle break or two to the 47-yard line, pick up a 23.
And that's something that they needed right there. There's Robert. He's got 36 yards, right? Just over 5 yards of carry. And this was part of why that average shot up right there, breaking ankles out of one of the DBs and making it happen, getting down. I mean, because somebody's got to make a play, right? You know, because they've given up, what now, like 13 unanswered points to Chicago, and somebody's got to make some moves. And, you know, Robert says, hey, let me get here, let me do it, get us close to midfield.
What's wild is that if Mark Anthony had not come down with one of the greatest catches in football history, New York wouldn't even have the 7 that they have. I mean, that was a miracle play there from the Lightning, and that's why they got 7.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Cam. Like all the bounces, right? Like we talk about it, you know, like with teams and how they get it and how they stay undefeated, how they win championships, and that was one of them right there.
Play fake Francis, deep shot corner, and it's knocked away. Eden Hart running a deep route. That is Renell Brown, the free safety, who got his ankles broken. What do we got? We got some good doctors here too, I suppose. Back out there defending the play.
So we got, and this is it, Cam, right here. It's a 3rd and 9. I mean, in my opinion, they got to pick this up.
And Francis does just that. Aldmere with the speed, rolling over a body down to the Chicago 24-yard line, and the drive will continue for New York. Aldmere up to 65 yards.
And they needed that right there to keep it going, just to try and keep, you know, Chicago from getting all the momentum, right? You're able to get them, you know, Aldmere open, coming across a little like in route, going toward the middle of the field, and able to turn it up, right, to get more yards after the catch.
Low-key, Chicago's receivers have had a great season. They had 3 players in the top 25 coming into the week. Mark Anthony is New York's top receiver at 12th on the national leaderboards, but he's the only one. Francis on a 1st down and 10 will fling it. Woo! Declan James getting the going for Michael Jackson, 2nd and inches.
What a move, Cam. You put that right up on both the 2 guys right there. He did it all for about 3 yards, but it sure was pretty to watch.
2nd down and inches at the 14. Francis looking for Hart, but she's covered, so has to take the check down to Henson and actually lost a yard. $20 super chat. Oh, come on, Mouse. Don't fail me now. $20 super chat from Buzzard's Corner. Token of my appreciation, Cam, for all the time, energy, and love you put into this channel. I am grateful. I love this channel, and we love you. We appreciate your viewership and your following, and we hope you enjoy each and every broadcast. 3rd down and 2 coming up at the 15, and they'll give it off to Maxwell. Oh, the backup fullback is going to take it all the way down to the 3-yard line. Maxwell picks up 12.
And he just comes in right there, right? Maxwell from his tight end. They said, let's just get the tight end back there, right? Maybe guys are getting tired, and he almost breaks it through. Maxwell just kind of getting down right there, making moves. Very, very big body guy at 6'6", 255.
Jennings in the backfield. What a response from New York here. 1st and goal at the 3. It's a play fake. Francis, look out! The block was not picked up by the right tackle, and Parker gets a sack back at the 11-yard line.
Yeah, Cam, when when he came there, I'm like, oh man, the way the ball was out, I think New York is fortunate that that ball did not come out because he was looking to throw it before he went to the ground. Wow, that could have been disastrous because he was looking right over the middle, Cam.
Whoa, that
Right over the middle, throw the ball.
That was a lot closer than I originally thought to being a fumble. That's Parker's third sack. That ties Marshall Crawford for the team lead. Handoff goes to Jennings, and Jennings is buried in the backfield. That is Eric Winter, one of the biggest and most valuable free agent acquisitions this offseason.
Yeah, being able to come in there and make this play, and he just destroyed him coming right through the line right there. But this is a third down. I mean, just when we thought, right, we actually saw Maxwell take a carry and almost get into the end zone. They backed up since.
3rd and goal of the 14. Francis stepping up. 4-man rush. Picked off on the goal line. Chicago with a stop, and Spencer with a takeaway.
What a change of events, Cam, right here. When we were, just talking about, hey, look, how are they going to get it in? They were down at like the 2 or 3 yard line was New York, and then they just steadily went backwards, play after play after play. And then what happens? Spencer comes up, eyes the quarterback up, and know he's going to go to one of his favorite targets. In Anthony, steps right in front of him, takes the ball away, ends this drive. No points after this really good drive by New York.
Chicago last in the league in interceptions coming into this game with 3. That is Spencer's first of the season. They hand it off to Williams. He is marked at the half-yard line. I thought that was a safety.
How was that not a safety? He was in the end zone. Oh my God!
Let's get another look.
He was hit in the.
I think you got to challenge. You got to challenge that. I don't see any part of him out of the end zone.
Wow. You gotta.
Wow.
Oh my God. I think it's the angle we're looking at, Cam, from up here, but it's a generous spot in my opinion.
2nd and 12, and there goes Williams near a first down, picking up 10 yards. So a missed opportunity to challenge and get points. It's just not going New York's way today.
Yeah, could this be like change the game a little bit, right? Like not challenging. Everybody watching this thought the same thing, but no challenge was made.
3rd and 1, Wiseman got it. Byleth Thomas, they have been unafraid on 3rd down. 17 for 26 now for Wiseman, and it's Thomas's 4th grab.
And they've been doing really good on 3rd down, Cam, right? And as we talked about, typically on the 3rd and longs, it seemed like, hey, they're actually getting it to their other one and buy them, but here they are, right? 3rd and short, getting it out the timers right there and being able to bring it in and just getting themselves out of the at their own 2-yard line.
1:45 to go in the 3rd. Now a play action roll to the left, and Wiseman overthrew an intended receiver that looked pretty open. 2nd down.
Yeah, got a little bit too excited there, and he almost looked a little bit confused right after the little play action he had. But once he rebounded, got a little bit too excited and overthrew his man.
Wiseman will fire. Williams got 11 and a first down.
And it seems like when they need to get a yardage or X amount, someone comes up with the big play and gets them what they need. And look, if they keep going at this pace, Cam, like they're gonna, we're gonna go into the 4th quarter and they're still gonna have the ball.
First down, 1:08 to go. New York comes up empty on their last possession. It was Francis's 4th interception of the season. That's it in 8 games. Wiseman took a hit, a brutal hit, and a loss of a yard on the check down to Amos YOUFL.
Yeah, look, and I actually thought right after he took the hit, I'm like, oh man, that's a good call because he kind of leaked out. But very, very good play from the New York defense to be able to get that running back in the flats.
28 seconds to go in the 3rd. Toss. Williams got a block and then another. Williams gets 9 on the toss play. Boy, Chicago's really mixing it up now.
Yeah, and it took Roman Cassidy from the left in position for him to chase down the running back to throw him down, but it's another 3rd and short situation.
3rd and 2, and Chicago will choose to flip ends of the field. How about the Chicago Dragons up 20-7 on the New York Lightning as we hit the 4th? Gerald Smith, Cameron Irvine with you. Chicago's best win of the season is against a 2-win team. They right now are taking on the unbeaten New York Lightning. And on a 3rd down and 2, Wiseman sets his feet and delivers. Byleth Thomas, first down to the New York 46-yard line.
Cam, they're just feeling it right now, right? They have all the momentum. They playing the game that they want to play right now. And everything is working for them exactly how they want it to right now.
You look at the Eastern Conference standings coming into today, you see Chicago sneaking up in that 5th position right behind Wichita and Dallas. Wichita plays host Dakota next right here on VFN. Wiseman again! On play action, Marcus Lloyd, first down to the 32.
Cam, he's still doing the play action. His offensive lineman's been given a little bit more protection, right, to be able to find his open receivers, and they're keeping it going, and they're chewing clock as well, Cam.
Again, Wiseman, play fake, roll, Adam, first down to the 12. He's just delivering darts, and it's to guys that we don't expect. YOUFL's 3rd catch.
Wow, he's just and he's giving it to everybody, right? Everybody start to key on by him, and Thomas and K Marion, and he's just throwing to everybody else on these last 2 plays and being able to come in and New York just hasn't had an answer for it, Cam.
Chicago at the start of a 3-game road trip. They're at Dakota next week. It doesn't get any easier, followed by Rochester. 1st and 10 at the 12 for number 12. Wiseman got hit again and delivers a rocket. That is Lloyd once more, a 7-yard gain.
Man, they're just doing it, Cam. I'd keep coming out. If I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong, Chicago, because they're not, right? They're leading the unbeaten team right now. But I would have liked to see them right there, getting this close rhythm that they have. I wonder if it would benefit them to just go tempo, right? Do a little bit of no huddle, keep the same personnel out there, from that defense, and see if you can, steal a touchdown on them.
2nd and 3 at the 5. Wiseman, touchdown. Marcus Lloyd. Chicago pouring it on against the 7-0 New York Lightning.
Yeah, Cam, and that was just too easy right there. He just found the soft spot right on the, about a yard or 2 deep in the end zone. Wiseman didn't miss him, and it's going to be in this half. Now, we did see New York. They go. Why would you go for 2 here? I don't understand it.
Going for 2 to make it a 21-point game, and Wiseman. Oh, they said he caught it. That did not look inbounds to me. K Marion with the 2-point try.
She was running on the apron, Cam, in the back of the end zone. I just don't know. Wow. There's no way.
That was a 12-play, 97-yard drive after the interception, and the 2-pointer is going to stand. I think that. I think that's another bad call too, and the officiating has not been home cooking for the Lightning today. That is a stunner.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. She was a couple of feet out.
But I tell you what, Gerald, you can never rest in the UFL, because with 9:46 to go in the 4th quarter, New York will be going no huddle.
And Cam, like I said, a couple of weeks back, right? New York, right, to beat a team by 6 points. They scored 17 fourth-quarter points just a couple of weeks ago to secure the win.
28-7 Chicago. This ball to Eden Hart again in the flat. Only a pickup of a couple of yards. By the way, 5 and 28 added to your cards. If you had 27, I'm so sorry. Or 26 for that matter. No huddle now for New York. 2nd down and 8 at the 25. Francis is going to air it out, and the safety gets there just in the nick of time. Jamal Spencer, 3rd down.
Coming through, Cam. This is the 3rd one we've saw like that, where the wide receiver had a step on the defender. This one was thrown in stride, but the defender came on right as the ball got there and knocked it out.
3rd and 8, Francis, corner, Hart. That's a beautiful route. 23-yard pickup. Keeps the drive alive as Hart's up to 6 grabs for 43 yards.
Right. Great route, great throw. Dropped it right where Hart needed it and got the feet right in bounds. And these are the things they're going to have to do to get themselves back in it, right? And not only that, they're going to have to score, right, fairly quickly because they're down 3 touchdowns, and they're going to have to stop Chicago.
Francis will dump that off to Aldmere. That'll pick up 5.
Yeah, and look, and we've seen, New York get in this type of area, before this game, but Chicago's defense has been able to tighten up and shut them down.
Joe Francis dropping a throw. Can't find anybody open, so has to check it down to Hart. That's another 2-yard pickup. Hart has run some deep routes today, but they, besides that corner just now, have not really been able to connect with her deep.
No, and the only ones that went deep is the ones we saw you going for there and slightly underthrown, but they need this.
3rd and 2, Francis, and there's Declan James down to the Chicago 21-yard line. Still 8.5 to go in the 4th as New York tries to make this interesting down the stretch.
Yeah, and look, and so far, Cam, they're making really good use of the of the time. They're not taking a whole lot of time off the clock, moving down the field.
1st down to the 21. Francis dumps it off to Henson. A little bit of running room. Gets 5 more to the 16.
Yeah, they gotta do a little bit more than that, right? I get being safe with the ball, but get you some more receivers out there because you are stacked on this team with talent.
Last time New York was down in the red zone, Francis was picked at the goal line. Again, a check down to Anthony. Maybe Francis a little gun shy right now. 3rd and 4.
Yeah, and I just don't know, Cam. That wasn't a very good pass to throw 1 yard.
Francis darts into triple coverage and almost caught by James on the deflection. Now it's 4th and 4. You got to go.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like you have to go here. And James, I don't even think he even knew where the ball was. Oh, maybe he did. He just was looking at it, but had his hands didn't follow his eyes. Cam, watch this.
He tried.
He's looking right at the ball, and his hands did not follow his eyes.
Almost had it. 4th and 4 at the 14-yard line. Francis out of the gun. Francis. Oh, what a throw. Touchdown, New York. And that is Caleb Miller. First catch of the day, and somehow New York converts.
And Francis threw that ball only where Caleb Miller could get it right. What a move right there he did, getting free of the defender. And for Francis threw a good ball, only didn't overthrow it or nothing, threw it right where he can get it, threw it low. Wow. Big score. They needed that.
That was a 14-yarder, and then there's 14 on the board, so we'll give you half of 88, which is, 44 is a bonus number 2. How about 8 for Cyrus Foster on the extra point? And then how about we double Joe Francis's 13? We'll give you 26 as a bonus number as well.
Wow. I wonder if we're going to see, Cam. I wonder if we're going to see, New York's defense stand up, right, and actually get a good 3 and out to give their team back the ball. Because like I said, it was only a couple weeks ago, right? They put up 17 points in the 4th quarter to make sure they're secured their 6th win of the season just a couple weeks ago.
Cam Wiseman stay hot. 7:29 to go in the fourth. Chicago has had a decent rushing attack today, but nothing spectacular, and that's, you see Wiseman's updated numbers, 24 of 34 for 312 yards. This Chicago team is 10th in the league in rushing, so they are capable. They do lead New York today, but Wiseman has the keys to the car, and he almost drove it off the side of the road.
The side of the road? He was going off a cliff. That was right in the middle of 4 New York defenders, and there wasn't even a Chicago wide receiver in sight. Don't know what that was.
2nd and 10. Now they'll draw it, and Williams will pick up a couple more. And now if you're Chicago, you get a little nervous with 7:15 to go.
Right, Cam, and I do think, I know he's done great things already, but Jason Williams, choosing to cut back when they had a very good open lane, I don't think that was a good decision.
Wiseman 3rd and 7. Sideline incomplete, and New York gets the stop, 3 and out.
And they went to buy him right there on the sideline, but he was really, really tightly covered. And we're going to get a good look at it here, slightly behind him, but the DB was right on him. And like you just said, New York is going to get the ball back plenty of time. And if they go down, Cam, and if they are just as efficient going down and get points as they were on their last drive, I mean, we could be looking at it coming down the wire.
Dawson makes another great play on the football. New York calls for a fair catch at the 28-yard line, and the reason why New York is in the position they are in terms of only being down 2 scores is because they chose to go no huddle when they did. There was 10 minutes left in the game, but New York played with pace and gave themselves a shot here. 1st and 10 with 6:42 to go in the fourth. We'll see what they do on this drive. As Francis fires to Robert Henson. I don't even know if that was intended for him. He leaps up and takes it away for 8 yards.
Yeah, Robert says, don't worry, QB, I got you. Jumps up, grabs it, gets 8 yards, right? And moves the ball, a little bit downfield.
New York slowing things down a little bit. 2nd down and 2, but still in passing mode as Francis will fire it over to Henson, and Chicago just yanked a face mask. Carmelo Breeze with the infraction, add 15 more.
You can't do that in these situations. Like, that's a free 15. You turn that into a 20-plus yard play real quick.
Now on the Chicago 38 with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Joe Francis dropping a throw. Off the top of the helmet. Chaz Oldmere pulls out the sacks and gets the first.
Cam, that was not a very good thrown ball, but Oldmere makes a catch. I wish we would have got another look. Wow.
And under 6 to go, down 2 scores, no huddle. Declan James down to the 1-yard line.
Cam, this is getting wild right here. Now, are they going to go no huddle right here at the 1?
They are, but we could see a run. We'll see what they do. They will throw 1st and goal of the 1. Francis sacked. Thrown down in the backfield. Whoa, and Sparks wanted a little bit extra, a loss of 10.
Wow, and we've seen similar, Cam, on a similar drive early on in the game. They were down there inside the 3-yard line and actually got sacked and pushed further back.
5 minutes to go, breakneck pace, and that a dud to Robert Henson. New York, they get down into the red zone, and then they just crumple.
Yeah, and it's been odd, right? They threw a pick the last time they were in this type of scenario.
Well, they had the 4th down conversion, but I hear you. They had the 4th down conversion and the pick in their last 2 trips. They run it to Jupiter Jennings to make it a more manageable 4th down.
I don't know, Cam. Like I have to go back and question, like on right at the 1. You're passing in that situation. I got to question it. I mean, that could be definitely a choice that comes back to bite you, so you don't even give yourself a chance.
Can they convert a 4th down for a touchdown for a 2nd time? 4th and goal at the 7. Francis drops to throw. Francis looking. Francis all day over the middle. Penalty. Will it stand? Illegal touching.
What?
The receiver must have ran out of bounds, and it's a turnover on downs.
No way. What's going on?
Wow. And Williams and Chicago takes over, and New York comes up with nothing. Gerald, we couldn't see it on the screen, but Roll must have ran a route to the back of the end zone, came back to the football, but stepped out on their way back.
Wow. And what a look, and that's one of the penalties, right? We talked about earlier, right? A lot of penalties happen in this game, and you mentioned it, right? Like, you know, the way the penalties have gone, it was no home cooking at all for New York at all.
Tomorrow night, Los Angeles takes on Dallas, a battle of 4 and 3 squads. That should be a great game. Eric Vincent Ramos Lynn on the call for that one. A 3rd down and 6 for Chicago, and New York can't get off the field. Williams picks up 11.
There was a huge gaping hole right up the middle. What a run right there. And I'm not saying it's over at all here, but I mean, at what time, if you're New York, do you start utilizing some timeouts?
Under 2:40 to go. I have your answer, Mr. Smith.
Are we under 2:40 yet?
Just now.
Oh, all right.
1st and 10 at the 22. New York's got to hold firm, but they have 2 empty red zone trips. A failed 4th down conversion. There's the timeout. A failed 4th down conversion. And then an interception at the goal line. If they score on those 2 drives, we're tied.
Yeah, and it's things that were, I mean, for them, especially on this pass drive at the 1, and then you get sacked on the very next play to put you back closer to the 10. It was just not, I'm like, run it in.
Hand off again to Williams. It'll be 3rd down, 2:21 to go, and 4 for the New York defense. They got to get a stop. They'll have no timeouts on the other side of it.
Yeah, and they can give themselves at least a shot here by, you know, stopping this 3rd down. I mean, if I'm Chicago, I'm actually keeping it on the ground. If I'm New York, hey, that's all I'm keen on.
3rd and 4. Williams, nope, didn't get it. And that's Michaela Foraker, who's been kind of quiet today, making the TFL in the backfield. So New York will get another opportunity at it on this side of the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, Kim, I think how many times we've seen New York this game be in Chicago territory, right? We you know, the 2 that stick out, or, you know, hey, look, you know, 4th down conversion and the interception, that one right there with a crazy penalty. And there was probably at least 2 to 3 more opportunities they had inside of Chicago territory where they were just out of field goal range.
Yeah.
And, you know, couldn't do it, and they end up having to punt or whatever it is. But still, it's like, man, they've had opportunities in opponent's territory and just have never cashed it.
Pretty good return by Declan James there to set up New York at their own 33. So they have no timeouts. The only way to stop the clock is an incomplete pass or a pass out of bounds. Or completion out of bounds, rather, as Francis will look to the sideline. And again, Declan James was just not ready for it.
Yeah, his back was to the ball, and a ball hit near his feet as well. You know, I don't think it was the best thrown ball either, but I just don't think he was expecting the ball at all.
2nd down for Francis. Francis completes it to Terrence Roll. We hit the 2-minute warning as the sun starts to get lower in the sky. Chicago looks to hold on for a big-time upset to kick off Week 8. 2 minutes left. Joe Francis out of the shotgun. Dropping to throw. Francis fires middle. That is complete to the Chicago 42. 10-second run off Aldmere with the catch.
Yeah, and they're gonna, you know, and they're gonna keep on doing it and getting down there and being it. Look, and they got to do it, right? They just have to do it. I think they got to go a little bit deeper with these passes.
Francis down the middle. That is caught again. That is Terrence roll. The fatigue is setting in on some of the star players in this no-huddle look.
Look, and that's what I was talking about, right? Get yourself a little bit deeper to get passes now. This is where you run yourself into some trouble.
Aldmir's in the slot. Francis looking for someone to get open. Back corner, touchdown! Jazz Aldmir! One-score game.
Ran right across the back. Offensive lineman gave him enough time, right? Aldmir just separated himself, running right back there, yards away from the nearest defender, and being able to pull it in, make sure he's secure the catch and everything else. So, Cam, like, what would we be watching right now if there was no penalty on that potential touchdown catch on their previous drive?
Wild stuff in the UFL. You can never turn away as we get 16 on the board for that 16-yard touchdown. Now New York has a chance to recover the onside kick. It is a 10% chance to recover. Chicago leads 28-21. And I tell you what, Gerald, New York's no-huddle offense has been so good. If they get this onside kick, Chicago is going to be shaken in their shoes.
I sure would be too. You know what I mean? I mean, because the way they've been going, the way they went down the last drive and done the same thing. Yeah, you look, they didn't get in, but they got down there, and they got down there pretty quick. And they went down here once they got the ball back, and they went down and scored quick as well.
Oh, the onside kick, just a roller and an easy recovery. And guess who, Gerald? Denard Byam, who kind of disappeared in the fourth quarter, comes up, makes the onside kick recovery, and Chicago survives.
And Byam had quite the game right here, and he's like, put me out there, coach. I need to make sure we secure this thing right here by stopping the onside kick being recovered. But credit to Chicago, right, for coming in and putting up a fight with the unbeaten team in New York.
Wiseman averaged 297 yards a game coming in, 312 today. Down goes the last unbeaten in the UFL. New York still atop the Eastern Conference at 7-1. St. Louis waiting in the wings at 5-2. They got a big game against Phoenix, who's won 2 straight, to start the game day gauntlet on Tuesday night. It's finally back. Things kick off at 7 Eastern with Phoenix and St. Louis. Other action includes New Orleans, San Diego, Miami, Austin, Vegas, Rochester, and Salt Lake, Minnesota. A special primetime edition of the Game Day Gauntlet Tuesday right here on VFN. What a performance from the Chicago Dragons, one of the best games they've played in the last couple seasons in the UFL.
Yeah, Cam, and they kind of set the tone, right? It was a little bit back and forth, tons of 3-and-outs to start with, right? But once they got, ahead, right, they got that field to go ahead 10-7. They somewhat turned it up a little bit and said, hey, this is our game to win. And they slowed down, the New York offense, especially the run game, right? Slowed them down, forced them into situations they didn't really want to be in. And they were able to produce and get enough points on the board and shut down, New York and plenty of times they get down there and came away with nothing.
We saw a game full of tremendous plays, including the Mark Anthony brilliant reception for New York, but it comes in a loss as New York has 393 total yards of offense in defeat. They averaged more yards of play, but the turnover on the goal line, the interception from Spencer, and then the fourth down failed attempt on an illegal touching call. It was just one of those days for the New York Lightning as Chicago improves to 4-4. Who's your player of the game today, Gerald?
For me, it's got to be Byam, right? He showed up huge on third down, many a time again, right? And and he actually sealed the deal as well, right? Right at the end of the game, got that onside recovery to make sure they secured their win and took down the last unbeaten in the league. Now it's going to be interesting too, Cam, for New York. If St. Louis wins this week, right? It's going to be a battle for the division lead coming next week, right? So the following week after that as well. So good stuff coming down the line in the UFL.
Chicago gets the upset 28-21 thanks to Gerald Smith, my broadcast partner today. I'm Cameron Irvine. Stay tuned. Tyler Falk and Josh Zirkle have Dakota and Wichita. It should be a high-flying affair in windy Wichita coming up from Kansas in just a few minutes. Give us a chance to reset everything and get situated. Dakota and Wichita comes your way next.
This is UFL Coast to Coast here on the Virtual Football Network. Last week on Coast to Coast, the visiting Dakota Rhinos pulled off a come-from-behind win in overtime, finishing 26-20 over San Diego. Now they come into windy Wichita, where the Flyers look to capitalize on the stumbling New York Lightning with their loss earlier tonight. Hello, folks. I'm Tyler Falk. Glad to have you with us alongside Josh Circle here in the booth. Josh, this one should be a fun one.
Yeah, Tyler, almost 1 year ago in Wichita, marched into Dakota and beat the Rhinos handily on their own field. Of course, now the Rhinos, the defending UFL champions, hoping to return the favor here in Wichita. Biggest weapon for the Rhinos, obviously halfback Liam Seitz, averaging over 90 rushing yards a game. If Wichita could take Seitz out of this game, they could do it with BK Solberg getting some early points, but Solberg is not going to be the only air show in town tonight. A wind advisory is in effect this evening. Winds expected to up to 45 miles an hour. Get your popcorn ready, Tyler.
Absolutely. If we were playing baseball, that is out of here. Where's the extra free point? There, as we now know where the wind is blowing left to right across your radio dial and TV screen. As the first play of the game will be a handoff from Solberg to Chris Deller up the middle, and that'll give us a chance to look over the Wichita offense, Josh.
Yeah, tremendous wide receiver depth on this team with Jamichael Morris, the tight end, but also Timothy Shea and R.J. Gilmore. All three of them had 7 catches each in their game last week. And their only losses this season to LA, Dallas, and Phoenix, all playoff teams.
Trips to BK Solberg's right here on 2nd and 8 as he'll look to pass with a good pocket. Now continuing to scan. Time running out, and he runs out of time. Crashed into by Mechanum Pfister for a loss of 10.
Yeah, there are almost 2 Pfisters in the vicinity, almost 3. Manaka Pfister gets free, gets loose. Mordecai Pfister right there as well. Solberg knows he's got to get rid of that ball at this point. Just too many Pfisters to shake a fist at.
Well, hello to you, Antique, Accident, and everybody else who's joined us here at chat. Hopefully you enjoyed the first block of our coast-to-coast action and looking forward to more fun here. It is a play-action pass here from BK Solberg. Deep shot to the corner, right side and double coverage, and it's expertly defended. Incomplete. And that's a quick 3 and out for the Wichita drive.
Bit of a hasty 3 and out too. Solberg knows they got to come out. They got to try and score points early. They want Dakota to be as one-dimensional as they can and looking for the big gain here. And you see R.J. Gilmore running into double coverage. Suki Padre there. Montgomery, Trey Montgomery, the free safety on the scene as well. That's a tough window for anybody, especially for BK Solberg.
Blake Kramer will punt this one away here for the Flyers, as the Rhinos will call for a fair catch, and they'll get it. And that is where the quarterback, Billy Flagg, will take to the field tonight. He's 20 of 28 in the win last week. In overtime, as he'll hand it up the middle. It's a good gain on the ground to begin the night for Seitz. Gain of 6.
Liam Seitz, like we said, manages about 90 yards a game on the ground. You know who else manages a lot on the ground is Billy Flagg as well, a legit double threat in this UFL.
The shotgun. Flagg near side on the crossing route. Caught turning upfield, looking for more room. It gets all the way inside the Wichita 25, pushed out of bounds at the 22. 19 yards after the catch for Tony Horn Jr.
Yeah, and they look like a rough and tumble sort of throwback team. This offense is anything but. They are dynamic. They will throw the ball down the field. They could beat you for yards after the catch. Don't let the shoulder pads fool you, folks. These guys have some speed in Dakota.
Maybe it's extra protection. Maybe it's a statement here by the Rhinos. Not afraid to use their shoulders in the tough contested yards. Pass over the left-hand side. Incomplete on the drag route. Led Horn Jr. a little bit too far, but we'll take a look at the rest of their offense nonetheless.
Yeah, like we said, tremendous depth, tremendous toughness. Doug Day, Mike Coco, And Jake Riley making up a very stout wide receiver core. The depth in their room rivals that of Wichita, but they have a couple other pieces in the offense as well, as we've mentioned.
RPO near side. That is easily handled by Wichita. Getting in quickly is Russ Harper, the corner.
Doug Day, in the Rhinos games that I've done, has typically had slow starts, so it's nice to see him getting involved, getting a little volume here early, but that was snuffed out right away. That's Russ Harper making the tackle there. Doug Day never really had a chance to get any separation at all.
So that'll bring up third down here for the Rhinos. Bunch off to Flag's left. Four-man rush from Wichita. Flag now just going to try and tuck it and runs right in to the defensive tackle, Brendan Bell. And the Rhinos will have to settle for 3.
Yeah, they decided to take it conservatively here. Usually when a quarterback is scrambling, teams freak out. They're very comfortable with flag running. Decides to go up the middle here. Could have picked a better hole, but only lost a yard or two, leaving a very manageable field goal here for A.J. Horn.
To Flag's credit, Bell made a move to the outside, but just as Flag tucked it and run, Bell made a brilliant cutback move to the inside, which cut off the QB escape. And so the field goal attempt is up and good from A.J. Horn, and the visitors take our first lead of the night.
Very solid drive. This is what Dakota wanted to do. You always want to get points early. It will dictate how these teams treat each other as the game goes on. We saw Wichita coming out very early. Didn't have a lot of success moving the ball. Left Dakota with nice field position. And you saw Dakota, they're world champs for a reason. They did not have to do a lot to get the ball moving. Didn't really use Liam Seitz there. A couple of dinks and dunks down the field. Got themselves the field goal range. And they're very happy with 3 points at this juncture in the game, Tyler.
There are your bingo numbers to begin the second half of the block. Plenty of scoring and plenty of extra numbers in bingo from our first game of the night. Keep an eye out for any extra numbers, some bonus numbers that Commissioner Cameron Irvine will throw your way after every score. As here come the Flyers. Not the opening drive they would have liked to begin the game. They went 3 and out. We'll see if they can change matters here. That one nearly worked, just a little bit too high of a floater. Both QBs seeming to have to deal with the extra defender being the wind, and then of course you got these burly boys all on the field for Dakota.
Yes, a flock of fisters, Mordecai Pfister, Menachem Pfister, and Malachi Pfister. And we haven't even talked about Rick Kuhn, Jacob Morrison, Trey Deuce, Suki Padre, and Nuke Raiden, a newcomer, relatively speaking, to this very stout, very deep Dakota Rhinos defense.
2nd and 10. And here comes Solberg. He does have to throw into the wind. That's a bullet when it's caught. And there is the first Wichita first down as Solberg finds Dwayne Knight for his first catch of the night.
Kind of surprised to see Dakota blitz there, and they blitzed heavily. They probably sent 7 guys there. Gave Solberg a chance to find an open receiver, and Wichita finally has a first down.
Solberg again back to the air, looking near side, and you can see the wind already affecting it. Solberg's going to try it and throw it into the wind, and hopefully that the ball goes to his receiver or not.
Yeah, and if that wasn't bad enough, you've got all those fisters bearing down on you at any given play.
Here comes the run, near side, good little hole, and the run game working very well. It gets inside the 20-yard line, Chris Delro.
Delro probably got excited when he saw the weather report this evening, realizing that whenever the wind came to be too much for Solberg, that he was going to get some touches, and this is as good a touch as you can expect. Wide open, green grass. Delro runs up to the left side to get his team a nice gain.
Now on the other side of midfield, Solberg back to the air again, looking right side. It's knocked out of the hands of the intended target.
And talking after we just saw Chicago upset New York, Chicago not with a lot of depth on the defensive side. But week in and week out, Dakota has been a tough out for everybody.
Trying to go right side and upended quickly is Delro. And there is one of the hits from Padre. Saw him on the deflection on the last drive, and he gets involved here again.
And Delro probably banking on a little more volume here, but he can expect a lot of hits like that.
Solberg underneath finds the tailback Delro out of the backfield, but he is brought down quickly by Trey Deuce. And they are kicking into the wind. This is not field goal territory.
No, I'd have to agree. We'll see if they try Duncan out here or not, or go to Blake Kramer, the punter. But this is just a ridiculous win. We saw the kickoffs going the other way from Dakota. The curiosity's getting the better of me. It looks like they are going to punt.
And they are from 36 yards out. This is going to go right into the wind. It's going to be a short punt that is going to be taken out of the ends at a sideline of the 22. Maybe a net of under 20 yards on the punt. My goodness, at least Josh, for the second and fourth quarter, they're going to be with the wind, which will help them in these situations.
Absolutely, and that was just not much you could do about that. And now Dakota's got the opposite problem.
They'll try and run with Seitz left side and the extra pads. Not going to be helping him there as Casey Reed gets to him quickly. And that will give us an opportunity to look at the Wichita defense trying to stop the Rhinos tonight.
Yeah, very stout performers. Casey Reed had a sack last week. Joshua Durr, who's had an outstanding season already. Harper Dew, the man clearing up the middle for these Wichita Flyers. And, of course, Zachary Odom setting the edge on the left side on the line.
Tight end right. There'll be another run. Seitz, and he is brought down by Giovanni Watkins, the defensive tackle, and the run game struggling to get going here for Dakota, but the passing game on third down has been electric. Under 5 to go here in the first quarter. Blitz coming, pass middle, there it is again. Caught and on the run up to the 45-yard line. Goes Horn. And what did I say? Third down offense been clicking for Dakota all season long. And Horn picks up the first down after the defense part of the Red Sea for him.
Yeah, flag with all the time in the world. This is just a 5 and in. Tony Horn right there. It looks relatively simple, but these guys gashed everybody with this last year. This is a tough unit to get off the field. And Wichita's going to find that out real soon if they haven't already.
Safety creeping down onto the far right side of the offensive line, and they will send him. Flag finds the open hole left by the blitz. First Seitz, and he's up to the 41. First down, Rhinos.
And we talk about Billy Flagg being a double threat, but Liam Seitz catching the ball out of the backfield is kind of ridiculous when you consider the mass that man possesses and when he gets the ball with a full head of steam.
High formation. And the Rhinos will try and go right through the middle, and they do. A 13-yard gain for Seitz. Now the run game starting to charge down the field.
Yeah, you just can't defend everything at once. Dakota is so deep, so dynamic. And really, if they can get you into a rhythm or a lull thinking one way, and that's when they roll Seitz out. He's just like a Raiders of the Lost Ark, that big ball coming down the ramp after Indiana Jones. That's Liam Seitz with the football, basically.
For the run, this time to the backup tailback, who is going to go nowhere. A.J. Higbee will actually get a yard for his troubles.
Wichita collapsing here, getting a little better run coverage here in the red zone.
Linebacker shifting to the weak side, expecting something from there. Instead of it, it's a pass to the near side. Caught in plenty of space. Going up and getting it is Horn again. His third catch in the quarter.
And his second catch of the drive. And once again, finding space. Flagg looking to his left, looking the safety off. It gives Tony Horn a chance to work underneath. And just like that, his first to goal Dakota. They make it look that easy.
Dakota's done a very good job in the passing game this season find themselves top 4 in total offense, averaging 405 yards a game. We're seeing that here. Play action. He'll tuck it and run. Flag to the 1-yard line. Stopped just shy of the goal line.
And my heart skipped a beat watching Billy Flagg take a shot right in the face, trying to slide. Took a little contact anyway.
They went RPO out of this formation last time. They'll try a straight run, but sides, diving, touchdown! Fights off 2 defenders, and the Rhinos are on the board again.
Can't be stopped, got a full head of steam. 1 tackle, 2 tacklers. Doesn't matter. Liam Seitz will not be denied. 3rd tackler might have made a difference there, but couldn't get to the point of contact in time. And the Liam Seitz experience rolls on.
6th rushing touchdown of the season for Seitz, and it is 10-0 Rhinos here in Wichita. Get your UFL gear at UFLshop.com, stocked with the best tees, sweatshirts, flags, and more. A Printful partnership, all made in the USA for easy shipping. It's UFL you can wear at UFLshop.com.
If you're Wichita, this is not the start you were looking for. You're down 10-0. You're not out of the first quarter yet. You have experienced a lot of rhythm on offense. Your best play so far has come from your running back. Your BK Solberg still searching for answers. He's been sacked once already by Menachem Pfister. Wichita's got to find some answers, and they got to find them quick.
3rd kick off is again going to go out of the playing area, and that'll bring up another first down at 20, or first down at 10 from the 25 for Wichita. The bonus number we get is 22. So we got 22 on your bingo cards. Well, you might have a lucky day here tonight, and hopefully we get some bingos tonight for all of you folks watching back at home. Counter play working well. Delro. And he is down near the line to gain. There is a late flag of the play. It's going to be holding on the offense, so all the work that Delro just did, take it all the way back. They're going to lose the yard. It'll be 1st and 11 now.
Had time for that.
Man rush. This one just a quick slant route over the middle is caught. 3rd reception of, or 3rd pass completion of the night for Solberg. 1st catch of the game for Morris.
And Jamichael Morris, he figures into the offense as much as the receivers do. Gilmore and Shea.
Solberg running out of time, gets it away, and it is caught. No, dropped the last second. Great play on the ball carrier to knock the ball away.
Go play in the secondary. Dakota's known for it.
4 wide here on 3rd and 4, and they're going to go draw Delro, and it gets a nice move up to the 41-yard line. First down, Wichita. Brilliant open field running from Chris Delro.
Yeah, great shiftiness too, trying to get extra yards after getting through the hole. Low snap, very nicely handled by Solberg. Shift left, right, back left again. And Dakota needs almost what might have been a touchdown-saving tackle from Jacob Morrison, the safety. Playing corner, excuse me, to take Delro to the turf.
This may be our final play of the first quarter. Solberg in the gun, pumping once and now taking it off over the middle. Got him all kinds of messed up, but not as messed up as the wide receiver, Jamichael Morris, was after taking that shot.
And that's one Morris has to hang on to. That would have opened things right up for this Wichita offense.
Brutal start to the night for Solberg, 3 of 8. A fake on the Jets in a run from Delro, but sniffed out brilliantly by Trey Montgomery. It's a loss of 2, and it's 3rd down.
Montgomery coming on the blitz. They thought the draw would fool everybody, but it turned out Montgomery fooled Delro. Comes right in on the edge. They never saw him. until he's right up in you.
And that'll bring this quarter to a close. Dakota 10-0 at the moment, but the field flips around, and so the wind will favor the Flyers here to begin the second quarter. Tyler Falk and Josh Circle here on the call. Glad to have you with us here for the second game of Coast to Coast here in Week 8. And a deep shot with wind helping. Oh, it's caught at the far! RJ Gilmore, 56 yards, and a brilliant catch, which he laid all out for.
And the first play, Solberg gets to throw into the wind. He unleashes the dragon, throwing it all the way down the left side. Gilmore 2 steps behind, but knows exactly where that ball is going to be. Leaps up for it, and it's first and goal. Wichita has their biggest play of the night so far.
With the flip of the field, the wind now buffering the Flyers' sails, their wings. Can they fly high? And can Solberg get out of the pocket? No, he cannot. Mordecai Pfister with the sack.
Solberg thinking that the game is going to come right to him, waiting for the right opportunity, trying to get his team back into this game. And he just does not have that kind of time against this Dakota front. Got to get rid of that football, throw it out of the end zone, throw it in the stands, throw it to your mom. Just don't hang on to it, because that's what happens.
Second sack on eerily similar looking plays for the Flyers. Now to second and goal from outside the 10-yard line. RPO, which works, and it's a touchdown for the Flyers. Morris with a touchdown.
Tremendous fake the handoff, throw the out route to Morris. Everybody thinks he's going to block. He goes out for a pass, and there's nobody there. And that's almost a walk-in touchdown for the tight end, Jermichael Morris. And that is his first receiving touchdown of the season. Congratulations, Jermichael Morris.
How about the winds of change? We talked about it coming in, how it's gusting here. We're in a wind advisory, and now it is in favor of Wichita. Snap, spot kick is up, and it is good, and Wichita's on the board, and we're back to a one-score game. 12 is your bingo number after an almost 3-minute drive ending in a touchdown. But let's talk about that pass again, Josh. What a brilliant throw from Solberg. Heck of a catch from Gilmore.
And Solberg was probably waiting the entire first quarter, Tyler, for a throw like that. He recognized how the wind was influencing his game. Got it with his wide receiver. He said, just go east, young man. And left it up there. And it was not a situation where Gilmore had to step on his receiver. That play materialized inside the 10-yard line, and Gilmore made an outstanding play on that throw from Solberg.
If you're looking for a kick return tonight, well, you've been short out of luck here in this game, because all the kickoffs have gone with the wind, and they've been all booted out or near out of the stadium to this point because the wind is so hectic. Seitz, the man in frame there, has the lone touchdown for Dakota. That's why they have a 3-point lead. And he's sidecar right at Billy Flagg and gets the call here, spinning away from his own blocker, but eventually wrapped up by 2 Flyers for a minimal gain.
And every time I see Liam Seitz hit that spin move, I feel like I need counseling. It's just ridiculous that a man that large would also be that nimble.
Pads give it away, I think. Gives some sort of false sense of beefiness, which is what the Rhinos are looking for, but it's jarred free. Looking to go back to Seitz this time, and the air was flagged, but no dice. Good play by the linebackers.
And now 3rd and 8, you've got to look for everything. Flag to run, Seitz to run, flag to throw, Seitz to catch, and all the receivers to boot.
Blitz coming, pass right side. It's caught, but short on the line to gain, rolled down to the 34. Riley unable to get past Joshua Durr, and it's 4th and 1. Dakota, for the first time tonight, unable to convert on 3rd down.
Yeah, Durr is not going to miss a tackle like that to reach the line to gain. Nice catch. The catch is a little bit behind Riley. He's got to adjust. He can't be at full speed when he catches it. And the closing speed of Joshua Durr with that throw made the difference in that play.
And so now the Rhinos will have a chance to punt into the wind. And this one's swailing back, and it's going to bounce. It does not hit the flyer return man, Delro. And so the Rhinos will tap it down at the 30-yard line. That's one of the things we got to look out for tonight here, Josh, with these punts into the wind. They can wildly bounce because the punters might put some English on it, but it might not go the direction because the wind will swirl it around.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised Delaware was even that close. I would be in a fire situation and getting away from that ball.
So on the 30-yard line, Delro, and he is crunched into Blake O'Neill coming in with the takedown.
One of the things that Wichita needed to do in this game is control time of possession, and they kind of got away from that when they fell behind, and I think we're reapproaching that strategy now that they're within 3 points.
And Ron Delro holding the ball like a loaf of bread. He hasn't fumbled it yet tonight, but it is a first down, nearing 50 yards.
And with 7 carries to boot, a lot of volume for a guy that is so haphazard handling the ball. Kids, you want to tuck that up into the crook of your elbow. You're not a quarterback. You don't want to be running with that ball just in your hand because all it takes is a finger to flip that out of there. But Delro lives to carry another day.
He averages 41.3 yards a game. He's already eclipsing his average tonight with 49. So that's good to know after Dakota being one of the best rushing defenses against, but it won't matter because they're the best team in getting sacks, and Edwards shows you why.
3rd sack of the game for Dakota. Solberg just never had a chance. Faking the draw to, again, nobody fooled by the draw that time. Will Edwards was going to hit the quarterback whether he had the football or not. And once again, Solberg takes a little bit of punishment.
They had 6 sacks more than the next closest team in the UFL coming into the night, and they tally on 3 more for a league-leading 38 sacks. That pass is defended. It's incomplete, and it's 3rd and 15.
Yeah, start looking for Jamichael Morris, something intermediate, maybe get us between the 2nd and 3rd level where he can make a defender miss.
4-man rush. This is a dump off from Solberg. Delro just have to try and done it himself, but he's taken down at the 48. It'll be a 4th and 5, but even from this distance, now with the wind, they could pin Dakota back deep here with a punt.
Yeah, we've seen it with the kickoffs. We've not seen anybody punt into the wind so far. This will be very exciting and give Wichita a chance to, as you said, give the Rhinos the long field.
Very easily, if the punter, Blake Kramer, doesn't do it right, it could easily go out of the back of the end zone. We'll see how his accuracy is. This one going to angle to the near sideline, and it will go out of bounds at the 9-yard line. He will give Dakota a long field.
And that's just artful, to punt with direction, with distance, and to navigate the wind as well. That ball might have just gone into the tunnel.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the wind wreaking havoc tonight with us this evening in Wichita. That's what you get for living in Kansas. It is nothing but farmland and occasional trees. What is a gorgeous part of the country, as Flag with all day to throw, gonna huck it into the wind, and it's easily picked off. It hung up too high, and Joshua Durr makes Billy Flag pay.
If you're gonna throw on Joshua Durr's side, you've got to make sure you get that ball in the window. And Flag, almost haphazard here, gets it all the way up, trying to hit his receiver on the sideline. It's Doug Day, the intended receiver, and there's just nowhere to go. Durr's got the inside shoulder. Times the ball, doesn't even have to jump for it. And all Doug Day could do is bring him down to the turf.
And so Wichita will look to capitalize on turnovers, much to the like of the SFL DC Dragons attempted to do last night. Unfortunately for them, in the SFL playoffs, they fell just short to the Mexico City Aztecs. As Solberg over the middle, it's bobbled and picked on the hop, and back the other way goes Dakota with blockers. Here goes LC Provost, and he's all the way up to the 39-yard line.
Wichita gets a turnover, and on the very next play, with Solberg throwing into the wind, a bobbled ball. Take a look at this. Solberg throwing down the field, trying to find his receiver, bounce, and Provost manages to scoop it off the turf Franco Harris style, and has blockers, as you said, going upfield. And just like that, Dakota's back in business.
Solberg comes up with a tackle to save the touchdown, but Padre helping it into the helmet of his teammate to help jar that one free. And now Flag will have an opportunity to come out and, well, make up for the interception on the last play. I'll start with a run here. No, play action decides. Now Flag gonna try and tuck it and run. Conner's out there in the direction, but he still is able to pick up about 9.
And with the wind being such a factor here, a field goal from this would be about a 47-yard field goal. This may not be within the range of A.J. Horn.
Try a pitch here to Seitz. He's got blockers out there, and he made a move one too many as he is brought down by Russ Harper, and it's 3rd and 1.
And when you're a wrecking ball, you don't always think to follow your blockers, but Joshua Douglas, the right tackle, was there creating a seal, and Seitz kept going to the sideline and allowed the defender to get to him.
Seitz this time able to find the right path, and he will pick up a Rhino first down on 3rd down.
And I think Dakota might be very happy to keep the ball on the ground for the duration of this drive. Less than 5.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. The wind wreaking havoc. They're playing into the wind at this point. And they are, at least for now, playing with the lead.
So from the 26-yard line, one tight end left. There'll be a play action. Flag with time now to tuck it and run. He's being spied on, and getting home is Durr, who came up with the interception on the last drive, and he holds Flag to just 2 yards.
And that was a great idea to leave Durr as a spy. You don't always see the corner spying on the quarterback, but Durr has that sideline to sideline agility to make it happen.
Action rollout. Flag has to dipsy-doo, and he dipsy-dooed one too much. Try to tuck it and run, but it's Bell with his 2nd sack of the night.
Brendan Bell doing a nice job of sealing his lane. Flag likes to take off up the middle sometimes, and Brendan Bell shutting that down. Having the awareness to understand the quarterback that he's playing against, and made himself a play. 2nd sack of the game for Bell.
There's one thing that Wichita have, for the most part tonight, been very aware of and have done a good job containing the dangerous dual threat quarterback. 3rd and 12, blitz coming, Flag gonna tuck it and run. Another spy and another takedown. All over it, Donovan Gable.
Tremendous play, just again, edge to edge speed. Flag going to the edge this time, and just no chance. They know what's going on. Wichita studied the film. They knew who they're up against tonight.
And this is a kick into the wind. It swirls, but it is up and good from Horn. And so it's a 6-point lead here for Dakota, 13-7. Tuesday night, the game day gauntlet is finally back, and things kick off at 7 p.m. Eastern in Phoenix, where the Skyhawks welcome the Rivermen. A battle of win streaks. Action over 3 hours includes New Orleans and San Diego, Miami versus Austin, Vegas takes on Rochester, and Salt Lake visits Minnesota. A special primetime edition of the Game Day Gauntlet, Tuesday, right here on the Virtual Football Network.
When Wichita and Dakota played last year, Tyler, it was almost a year ago to the day. It was early June of 25. Wichita went on the road. They scored 21 points in the 4th quarter to beat Dakota. It was really not a close game at all. And Flag had 2 interceptions and got sacked 4 times in that game. Brendan Bell has 2 sacks right now, and Wichita really trailing by 6 with just under 3 to play in the first half.
And we just take a look at Solberg's night tonight, and it's been Well, one to kind of forget because he has been pressured left, right, and centered. Look at that hit from Edwards. He didn't even see it coming there on the play action.
That's my favorite hit so far, not that anybody asked me.
Well, no, I'm asking, what's your favorite hit? That one? That one? All right, sounds good. 1st and 10 will be a run for Delro, but he goes maybe a yard, no better than that. Nuke right in there on the stop. It'll give him 3, actually, for Delro.
And Delro's still very much in play. I know you're thinking about a 2-minute situation here, but you got time to run the ball, and you see they got D. Collins now at fullback.
RPO, and they didn't let it get set too much. Screen didn't work, and Dwayne Knight just has to take it and eat it.
I wonder if Solberg has any intricate bias with the RPO being a pass-first offense. How much of a run read does he need to actually go ahead with the run?
5-man rush, pass, left side, caught at the 45-yard line. That's a Wichita 1st down.
First time we've seen Dwayne, that's Darian Atkins, excuse me, making the catch. There's your 2 minutes.
2 minutes to go here in the first half, 13-7, Wichita with the wind. They started off the second quarter with a touchdown with a little help from their friend, the wind. We'll see if it helps them out this time as they go into the gun, trying to harness that change of momentum. Blitz coming, and just a quick underneath route to Chris Delro. It picks up a good chunk, maybe 7 yards.
Dakota seeming set to pressure Solberg here and make him throw the ball in haste. They sent 6 that time. And now a little more haste for Solberg going no huddle.
They're down by 6. Well, they don't want to be down by more. They're going to try to go near side. That's caught and out of bounds. 1st down for Wichita.
This is where having the big boys up front almost hurts you a little bit, Tyler, because the Fisters are not going to sub out. Even here in this 2-minute situation, they're going to keep rushing, and with the runoff and resetting, there's a chance they can run out of gas, especially as this team gets closer to the red zone.
Ready, 18 Gator. You better bring. Letting you know. Deep grip.
Here on 1st down, Solberg, a quick underneath. Oh! It's picked off. They're in that play one too many times, and Dakota brings it back. Rick Kuhn, touchdown, Dakota Rhinos.
Rick Kuhn had this snuffed out all the way. Solberg, good eyes, looking downfield, and then goes to his receiver looking for R.J. Gilmore. But Kuhn just had it snuffed out, steps in front of the route, steps in front of the ball, and there is nobody there to catch Rick Kuhn, and Dakota has a defensive score.
Takes it all the way back to the house for Dakota. That is, if I check myself, that is his 3rd touchdown of the season, or 3rd interception of the season, my apologies, and his 1st touchdown of the season as Dakota take a 20-7 lead with 1:27 to go.
And that's just a tough spot if you're Wichita. Had a chance to drive down for a tying or even a go-ahead score. The clock is on your side. The momentum's on your side. The wind was on your side. And Rick Kuhn, as he's done to so many teams over the last couple years since we've been doing these games, Tyler, just took those dreams and shattered them. And now Dakota up 2 scores. Wichita's going to get one more bite at the apple here with a minute 27. This might be a chance for Solberg to let it all hang out.
And this will be our first kickoff that goes into the wind. We'll see how it affects it here. This will be a return from the 12-yard line. And that goes almost just a yard better than if it would have been from the other side of the field. And we not kicked out of the back of the end zone. So here comes Solberg and company. The pressure getting to him and affecting his timing. And Dakota have come away now with a pick 6. They've got to come up with a fix here in a hurry.
Hey, 4 down.
Solberg back to throw, trying to eliminate the errors, and he does connect this time to Timothy Shea to the 44-yard line and out of bounds. A minute 18 to go now.
But Solberg again throwing with the wind. You can see the ball kind of sail here. A very effortless throw, right on the money. Love to watch the quarterbacks of this league. He just hit that seam on the sideline. Timothy Shea brings it in, gets out of bounds to stop the clock. Tremendous throw and catch, just what Wichita needed to start this drive.
Solberg looking for a screen and nothing doing. Delro couldn't get around his left tackle, and that may just sink the play a little bit, broke up the pattern.
Another hasty throw from Solberg, but Mordecai Pfister coming right up into your grill. A little hastiness there could be forgiven.
Another screen, and again it fails to connect. My goodness, and timing not working, then they're seemingly trying to force a square peg through a round hole with that play.
Yeah, you don't want to give the defender a free shot. You want to get a hand on him at least, but Mordecai's just coming through unblocked.
Three-man rush, that pass is deflected, incomplete. Montgomery with the deflection, and that drive peters out after a couple of busted plays.
I'm not sure Montgomery even saw the ball. He was right in position. Yeah, you see the hands getting up there. Tremendous effort by Montgomery. Just did not have the body alignment to really bring that in. But all the same, it's an incomplete, and Dakota will get the ball back here with a minute and change.
And so here comes the punt back from their own 30-yard line. This one gonna sail all the way into the end zone. A punt of roughly 80 yards from Duncan. And that'll give the Dakota Rhinos a ball at the 25-yard line. An opportunity now to extend their lead and try and make this a 3-possession ball game before we hit the half. 5-man rush, pass underneath, and it's picked off! Flag just threw it to Harperdue. And Wichita in plus territory.
Second interception of the half for Billy Flagg. Why are you throwing the ball in this situation? Put it on the ground, get to the locker room with your lead. Trying to find, it looks like, Tony Horn Jr. and Harperdue. Much better position to catch that ball. Just an unbelievable decision across the board. The play call, the throw, not sure what Dakota was thinking there.
Flagg with only 4 interceptions, 3 of those coming in just one game against Dallas, now with 2 tonight. Very interesting turn of events. These wins being very, very chaotic, and they're fumbling the ball, and Wichita finally pick it up. They can't advance it. Delro at the 42. That ball was on the turf for about 3 seconds.
That was unbelievable. Take another look at it. Solberg again, there was maybe a clip there that wasn't called, and Solberg coughs it up, and about 3 offensive linemen trying to grab it, but as offensive linemen go, they're unable to get a handle on it. Wichita very, very lucky they didn't turn that ball right back over like they did earlier this quarter.
Solberg looking near side caught with room to run, getting back to the original line of scrimmage. So a good play on 2nd and 26, a gain of about 16. And they do call their first timeout of the night. They got 30 seconds left to go here in the half. They need points. Even a field goal will do.
And you can almost feel the efforting from up here for Solberg, trying to make something happen, trying to wait that extra half a second for a receiver to get open.
Blitz coming. Solberg looking middle, deflected away. Deuce got his hand into the passing lane, and that's all it took to end the drive.
Trey Deuce very fortunate to make a stop there because Solberg has been killing Dakota on the blitz so far. And Deuce really has to get up in the air to knock this thing down. That is quite a vert by that young man. Knocking the ball away from Jamichael Morris. And that would have been 1st and goal or maybe even 6.
And so Wichita with Drew Duncan will attempt to knock home this 45-yard field goal, and it's off the upright. The wind while it was with them, again proving a factor tonight. and the score remains 20-7.
You live by the wind, you die by the wind. It seemed to be helping the passing game and the punting game. Field goal kicking, maybe not so much. And now Dakota marching back out here. I hope they just give the ball to that guy, Liam Seitz, and call it a night. It looks like Billy Flagg has other plans.
That he does. From the 35, they'll just try and tuck it and run, try and keep hold of the ball. It's a first down, and they do call a timeout. And they'll have 2 remaining here in the second quarter as we welcome in Brett Alt, who has liked and subscribed. Welcome to VFN. Welcome to the UFL. Glad you could join us with 15 seconds to go here on UFL Coast to Coast. Here in this first half, Wichita struggling here at home. The Dakota Rhinos looking to go into half. Maybe a shot play here. A try and get in field goal range, and Flagg wisely tucks it and run. Gets a good hole up to the inside the 30-yard line. That's an easy first down, but it still is going to be a tough field goal as they're kicking into the wind.
Well, with 8 seconds left, they might run a play here, and I think that would make a lot more sense than the field goal, and we just saw from Drew Duncan why that would be the case. I wish they would have run something like that on the previous drive, where they kept the ball on the ground and managed their risk a little bit. Flagg looks like he's going to manage risk one more time.
And they're going to have to get down quickly. 5 seconds to go. Pass is caught inside the 10. 3 seconds, and they do call their timeout. Brilliant. Under a minute drive might culminate in 3 after the missed field goal from Wichita.
And that was a perfect amount of time. You're able to get a receiver downfield, hit him in stride, let him come down inbounds, and get the timeout. And it looks like 3 points is not going to be enough.
No, they're not. They got to go for the end zone quick. This to end the half. Flagg right side, open, touchdown! Mike Coco with an out route to spur his man, and Dakota cap off the drive and the half with a score.
Just bask in the cojones of Billy Flagg and this Dakota Rhinos offense. Mike Coco gets both feet down, no time left on the clock. It's a touchdown or it's nothing. But for Dakota tonight, it's a touchdown.
That was picture perfect from Dakota. There's no reason in my mind now why Dakota is first in the Great West Conference. They now lead by 20 as we hit triple zeros in the half, 27-7. Josh, Wichita have some work to do.
They really do, and they're fighting everything. They're fighting the world champs, they're fighting the weather, they're fighting their own lofty expectations, and they're fighting a quarterback in BK Solberg who's still trying to find a little bit of rhythm. There's a touchdown, Liam Seitz there, but Solberg struggles in the wind and against this defense. You see Rick Kuhn with the pick 6. That's been the story so far. Solberg, I think, has played very well despite some pretty obvious hiccups. Generally speaking, managed to keep this game in relative check. And I know they're losing by 20, but they could really be losing by 30 at this point, the way things have gone so far. Very lucky to have the 2 Billy Flagg interceptions, and there still may be some luck on the side. We mentioned that they came from behind when they played Dakota last year for the win. Let's hope they can do it again, or at least make it a good effort if they're Wichita.
And we'll welcome you back into the booth. Tyler Falk and Josh Zirkle here on the call. We welcome you all back to Wichita, and hopefully you're not being buffeted by the wind as we are up here in the booth. Gusts of 45 miles an hour. If you missed it to begin the broadcast, that's what's affecting here. You'll see it here on this kickoff. This is going to go out of the back of the end zone and out of the confines of the stadium, it would appear, as Dakota will be set to go from their own 25-yard line. Flag, 8 of 12, but the story of the game has been his legs, which really spurred them on for 7 points on the last drive before we hit the half. I'm looking for more of that, more of the same. Blitz, looking for a screen right side for Seitz, and he's taken down rather quickly for minimal, if no gain.
This is just what Dakota does. The stats almost don't seem to matter. They make plays when it matters. They get scores when it matters. They get contributions from their defense. They have so many ways to beat you.
Seitz trying to charge through the middle, runs right into Casey Reed for a 3-yard gain, and that'll bring up third down here for Dakota. Wichita, if they're looking to change momentum, are going to have to come up with a stop here. And what really helped them out on the first half was spying on the quarterback flag, and they are keeping a spy on him here. Pass middle, deflected and nearly picked off of the deflection, and so they are able to get the Rhinos off the field.
A little surprised to see Dakota go max protect there. I know Brendan Bell has 2 sacks for Wichita already, but other than that, they've not been getting a lot of pressure on flag, and one of those sacks was actually a run. And you see that's Tony Horn Jr. getting a hand on it. Good defense, though, from Wichita. That's Russ Harper knocking it away. Bit of an interesting play call there from Dakota on third down.
So here comes the punt here from the Rhinos. Coming into the wind, it'll swirl back toward Dakota, but it is called in by Chris Delro for a fair catch at his own 33-yard line. So step one's done for the Flyers on defense. Can they continue the trajectory with step 2 with a good drive here on offense?
Don't need a lot here, just a couple completions, get a first down, get Solberg in a rhythm here to start the second half.
4-man rush, just a quick hitter underneath is caught at the 35-yard line, and no further will the ball carrier go. That's Morris, the tight end.
Solberg 12 of 24 in the first half. Like we said, a rough start, but a manageable start. You're playing against the world champs, and this is a team that does peak in the second half.
Ryan go, fake jet, run, Delroad, he is leveled at the line. Suki Padre laying the lumber, and they'll bring up 3rd and 7.
It's Jermichael Morris on first down. I wouldn't mind seeing them go to him again here on 3rd and 7.
4-man rush coming off the edge, and it wasn't picked up. Rhinos with yet another sack tonight. Jarvis Pierce comes away with the team's 4th sack.
Yeah, and again, it's a clean shot. And that's the startling thing about these sacks. They're getting clean shots off the edge, and Solberg is just eating face mask all night. 5th sack of the game for Dakota, and at this rate, there are many more to come.
So a punt here from Wichita. This one going to spiral out of bounds near the 10-yard line, and it is ruled out at the 9. And so a punt from his own 15-yard line goes nearly 76 yards. And Dakota with yet another long field. As a 63-yard punt officially from our statisticians. As the Rhinos, no stranger to these backed up territories, Josh. They had a long drive last time they were in this situation.
We may see a long drive out of them now. Billy Flagg in the shotgun to start.
Run from Seitz through the middle, and that's a good pickup, 8 yards. And it'll be 2nd and 3, 7-yard pickup.
The fun thing about Dakota, they can run or pass from any down and distance. It doesn't seem to matter. Doesn't matter who's back there. It could be Liam Seitz back there. It could be you back there, Tyler. They're comfortable running in any scenario.
Trying to run with Seitz again, this time to the outside. He ducks and dives his way for a hard 1 yard.
Harper Dew on that tackle, and along with 2 other guys, it took all 3 of them to bring down Liam Seitz. That's the joy of watching this man run.
That looks open here on 3rd and short. They'll go with a run. Seitz gets past 1. Enough for the first down for Dakota.
And this is Dakota. This is their bread and butter. Controlling the clock. Liam Seitz again with the jump cut. Probably doing Harper Dew a favor by not cleaning his clock here by running straight at him. It's just such a mixed bag with Liam Seitz. He's a ballerina in gigantic shoulder pads, but he's also a bulldozer too.
Seitz averages 92.3 yards a game, only at 47 years, so Wichita keeping him in check at the moment. Play action, here comes the blitz, and down goes Flagg. Sacked by Reed. 3rd tackle of the night, 1st sack of the night.
Casey Reed had a sack last week against Rochester, gets himself another one here. Let's take a look. Play action. Not fooling KC. Just going right up. Beats his man. Very lucky that wasn't ruled a fumble.
Right now it seems blitzes and spies are Dakota's counter tonight. Forcing Flag to make quick decisions or run right into the blitz. It is 2nd and long now with Stites the only man in the backfield, and the Flyers fly into the backfield. No gain, a loss of 1 maybe.
Nice stop by Holland. Again, like you pointed out, Tyler, when they're getting penetration, they're able to make plays in the backfield. It's just getting there that's been the challenge so far.
Press covered on the outside. Flag with time, not enough pressure, and it's caught. As if on kill. Jake Riley, 24-yard catch, and it's a first down.
Sorry, Tyler. Riley in traffic, and that was good coverage. Your Flag just puts this ball right on the money, and there's not a whole lot that Leo Whitley's able to do. I mean, look at that. He's like butter on toast. Riley still comes up with that ball. Riley, who is not ascendant of the depth chart by any stretch, making a performance worthy of being a Dakota Rhino.
And again, the Rhinos' calling card are these bigger pads, and maybe is just overshadowing these smaller corners just a little bit. Quick 7-step drop from Flag. He'll tuck it and run, looking for the middle. He's got a lane, and it took 4 defenders to bring him down, but he crosses the halfway mark of the football field.
Yeah, Flag usually averages about 8 yards a run. He's averaging about 10 yards a run right now because of lanes like this, able to cut back up to the middle. How many guys do you see, I don't mean just quarterbacks, I mean running backs in general, that don't automatically just scamper toward the sideline hoping to avoid contact? Billy Flag lives for the contact.
Play action, 4-man rush. Flag deep right side. It is holding on the corner around to the 12-yard line. Eddie Watson, first catch is a 35-yard strike, and it's 1st and 10 from the 12.
And that's a gorgeous ball, wind notwithstanding. Even at 0-mile-per-hour winds, that is a gorgeous ball. Watson dancing on the sideline. Again, Jamarcus Richmond all over him in a good way. Watson makes the catch anyway.
Flyers need a stop in the worst way. Flag gonna take it himself. Touchdown, Dakota. And they're piling it on now. It's a punishing touchdown from Billy Flag.
It's remarkable. It just tucks it back. He's gone. Probably didn't even look for a receiver. Just decided to take it himself. And Wichita understandably frustrated, but this is what happens when you play the champs. They do champ things.
Extra point coming here from A.J. Horn. Snap, spot kick is up, and it is good. 34-7 our score now here from Dakota. And we want to remind you, for everything UFL, visit the official league website at UFL.football to claim a player. Learn more about the league, catch up on news and features, and dive into the leaderboards. YOUFL.football in partnership with Sidearm Sports. So for Brett Alt, if you're looking to claim a player, head over to UFL.football to join the league.
I think Brett and anybody else looking to claim a player will find that there is some very fertile ground. Dakota may not be one of those teams. Wichita definitely is. Chicago, who masterminded an upset of the last undefeated team just minutes ago in New York. Plenty of players, not a single claimed player on defense for that outstanding Chicago Dragons team.
Until we're up to the 25 and no further, and so even the wind not allowing any big return tonight from either side of the football field. And here comes Brett Solberg. They're down big, Josh. There's no mistaking that. But what's the key to getting back in this game, or at least delivering some semblance of a comeback at this point down big?
I think it needs some positive yardage any way you can get it. That's a good start.
Yeah, that it is. R.J. Gilmore on the out route up to the 39. That's a pickup of 14.
Wichita, I mean, they're playing the champs this week, Tyler, but they have it tough after this week as well. Next week they have Miami, who is right behind them in the standings. And then they've got a scrappy New Orleans team. It's really found their groove the last couple weeks. They played New York to within a score just recently. And then they have New York themselves right after that. So this could be the beginning of a big slide if Wichita doesn't find a couple answers here against Dakota.
Take a look at that conference right now. Very tough in around from second all the way down to where that conference is at the moment. Very tough going for Wichita. We're looking at maybe just a handful of teams making the postseason, and every win is crucial even at this stage. So Solberg and company got to get it going. That's a good play. The out route works. They're up past the 45 to the 44 of Dakota, and Solberg gets 200 yards.
This is what I like to see from any offense. Receivers running east to west, making cornerbacks work to cover them, finding seams in the zone, or getting away from man coverage. Look, there's nobody around him at this point. That's just tremendous effort by Shea, getting himself open and realizing that it falls on him. When you've got a deep wide receiver room, everybody kind of thinks the job could fall to everybody else, but now everybody needs to step up here.
Shotgun formation, 1st and 10. It just sails past his intended target, incomplete.
And we've seen a lot of balls like that from Solberg. Some of it is the wind. I think some of it is the defense. But there does seem to be some communication struggling with his receivers.
4-man rush, and down goes Solberg again. Mordecai Pfister's second sack of the game. They now have 6 tonight.
And that's really been the story. Solberg, you can only do so much when you're literally afraid for your life. And you can see he does not have a lot of time there. Mordecai, fantastic penetration, and right at the middle. Like you can't even pretend to make a read at that point. All you're trying to do at that point is just hang on to the ball.
3rd and a country mile, and it's going to pile on the paint at the moment. False start of the offense. Make that 3rd and 2 country miles now.
30 base.
I haven't been to the country in a while.
Nor have I. Then again, I live in the middle of nowhere at the moment. There's a deep pass, trying to get it all back, and they almost did. Jacob Morrison knocks the ball free from Shea at the last second, and Wichita will be punting again.
And this is a tough spot for Wichita. And Shea, great ball. It's right there. And that's the difference. Morrison, look at the hand. You could not place a hand any better in there, and Shea just doesn't know what to do.
I know it's the 3rd quarter. I know you're down late here, Josh, but do you think about going for it here?
I would consider it. I mean, I would think it's 4th and 24. If it was 4th and 5, 4th and 22, excuse me. If it was a manageable distance, I would say, yeah, that was the best shot you had at converting the play you just had.
The punt is away. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And so Dakota take over on their own 20-yard line. They have a comfortable lead, courtesy of that man there, Billy Flagg. 11 of 16, 1 touchdown, but he's been running the ball. Got the touchdown in the last drive via a QB sneak. And he'll go to the pass this time, but it's Redwell. Harper Dew, who has a pick tonight, comes away with a 10-yard sack.
Sometimes the heroes come from the defensive side of the ball. Flag, play action. Harper Dew not fooled. Great contact there on Flag. Really? Oh, you almost have to think of it as an open field tackle when you're tackling Billy Flagg, and Duke gets him right to the turf, which is no small feat when that man has a head of steam.
So Flagg standing on his own 4-yard line. I'll hand it off to Seitz with a good block to the near side, trying to spin away from Sean Griffin, and he can't. They pick up 7, or about 5, however. It's 3rd and long. An opportunity now here for Wichita to get Dakota off the field.
The clock not quite Dakota's friend at this point, Tyler.
Play action, and here comes Wichita. Tyrone Clausen, unblocked, unmarked, and now they have their 5th sack.
Again, another open shot. Play action not being fooled by anybody. Not fooling anybody, I should say. Clausen from the blind side. Just blast Billy Flagg right in the back for the 2nd time in 3 plays.
And so from his own end zone comes the punt, and this one is going to be angled near side. Fair catch. Delro had a lane down the sideline, but elected to haul it in with the swirling winds out here. And now with under a minute to go, Wichita will take over on their own, on the Dakota 44, excuse me. An opportunity to get their first points since the first quarter. And Delro, who has been very absent since the early on part of the 2nd quarter, gets a carry here, and he picks up 6.
Now, I think you do have to come away with points here, Tyler, if you're Wichita. You got to make this game close. You still have another quarter to play here, but you got to score now.
Delro again with the give. He is tripped up, and will go down short of the line again, and that'll bring it into the 3rd quarter. It's been all Dakota, but can the Rhinos find their way to a win, or the Flyers fly back into this one? It's 34-7. Tyler Falk and Josh Circle here on the call. Glad to have you with us here for the 2nd and final block of Coast to Coast here in the UFL here in Week 8. That pass is caught on the little comeback route at the 23-yard line. That'll move the chains. First down, RJ Gilmore.
Yeah, the rhythm coming a little bit late, but again, this is a 2nd half team, and for Wichita, it is very much a 4th quarter team.
And they're already going no huddle. Nifty move for maybe a couple yards. At least they missed tackle. Timothy Shea will gain 2.
And the no huddle suits this team very well. They've got depth at receiver. They run a lot of 11 personnel. The players they want are already on the field.
Pass right side, caught up the sideline and out of bounds goes Morris. That'll be a little bit closer for maybe a 3-yard gain. 3rd and 5 upcoming from the 18-yard line, and they're going to go back to the huddle here to regroup, and now they're back onto the field rather quickly. Shotgun. Lone man is sober, gets it away, and it's picked. Floated it too high, and it's going back the other way to the 13-yard line. Coon, who already has a pick 6 tonight with his 2nd pick of the game.
That's Coon just hanging out, understanding what Solberg's trying to do, work that left sideline under pressure. Maybe not the best ball he could have thrown, but Coon is right there, almost threw it right at him. And if he hadn't fallen to his rump, that could have been potentially another pick 6. But I think they'll take the INT just fine at this point.
Coon has been all over this game in the passing department, really being the 2nd catalyst against Brett Solberg tonight, who has had to deal with pressure. He's had to deal with these outstanding corners, and Dakota is not allowing Wichita to have any semblance or sniff of a comeback tonight.
And you saw the numbers, their sights with just 15 rushes. Plenty of tread left on that tire. They could conceivably run sights the entire rest of the game here.
Flagg hands it off to Sights. Indeed, they are trying to. That's a gain of 7. It'll be 3rd and short. Flyers, they need this stop because Dakota's just going to keep milking this clock. With a run, Sights with a blocker in front. That's an easy first down for Dakota, who then is blown up at the 24-yard line. That'll move the chains, and as things stand, Josh, the Rhinos will get to continue their lead here in the West Conference. They'll move to 7 wins, tying New York, who was the final unbeaten team. I say was because they lost to Chicago in the first game of Coast to Coast here in Week 8. So that's a good feather in the cap for Dakota as things stand.
Yeah, a little bit of sigh of relief, I think, for the Rhinos, too. They've been playing a lot of one-score games ever since their loss to Dallas. And so now for them to have a big win against a very good Wichita team to kind of spread their wings, so to speak. I think that bodes well for them as they approach the second half of their schedule. They still have New York at home in 3 weeks. They face the Lone Stars in Austin for the regular season finale. But only 3 of their last 8 opponents have winning records, referencing New York, LA, and of course that finale game, which is in Austin. Tyler.
And take a look at this run here from Sites. Nifty move to gain extra yards. That's what Sites can do for you and for Dakota. And that's the trouble that you deal with as an opposing defense. And Wichita learning firsthand again. And back to your point earlier in the game here, Josh, Dakota enacting a little bit of revenge on Wichita after what the Flyers did to them last season in Dakota. 3rd and 1. Will be another handoff. Sights to the middle. He's taken down. No signal yet, but he is marked short, maybe half a football length shy.
We'll see if they decide to go for it here, but this really is an interesting matchup when you consider the strengths of these teams. A dynamic, bruising team that can run and pass. They do like to run more than pass versus a true West Coast team in Wichita. It's always a fun matchup, and you really never know what's going to happen heading into it.
Punt is away, and Wichita will not return. It'll be out of the back of the end zone, and so the Flyers, there's still a chance under 8 to go here for the green and black, but it's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, this is a Jim Carrey Dumb and Dumber chance, 1 in a million shot. You need 4 scores, and you need to get one of them right now. You need to get a couple stops on defense and recover at least 1 onside kick.
4-man rush, Solberg with time. Good pocket this time here from the Flyers. Looking right side. Quick little check down for Delro, and he's out of bounds to stop the clock after a 4-yard gain.
Again, I wish they would have been running stuff like this earlier in the game. I felt like they put so much, and not just this week, but just in general, on the shoulders of Solberg. And if he struggles out of the gate, they really just have nowhere to go.
Another sack. This time it's Padre. It's not coming just from the D-line tonight, but these linebackers are getting home too. Nothing that Wichita has been able to throw in pass protection, seemingly against these blitzes, has helped. Solberg again looking for a pass, and it's picked off again by Montgomery, who is in the right spot at the right time, and they are eating the Flyers alive in which should be the Flyers' bread and butter. The passing attack is their game, but Dakota has snuffed it out tonight.
Yeah, this is a stout, deep defense. I think we've got 4 picks from 3 different players. LC Provost, Rick Kuhn has 2, including the pick 6, and now Trey Montgomery. And as we said, maybe Solberg is just shouldering a little bit too much. Especially this Dakota defense has just, to be fair, played very, very well tonight.
Off to Sights, who goes to the middle, and he picks up a couple yards. We look back quickly on Billy Flagg's stats. I don't think he's thrown a pass, Josh, for at least a full quarter length at this point.
It sounds about right.
2nd and 7 will be another run, this time to the backup tailback, and he's got no issues running the football either. J.R. Lyons, his second rush, goes for a monster gain, and it's another 1st down here for the Rhinos.
Well, if it tells you anything how Dakota's playing tonight, not only has A.J. Higbee, the RB2, gotten in, but now J.R. Lyons, the RB3, gets in and scampers for about 7 or 8 yards before somebody even lays a finger on him.
Ready, set.
We always talk about the big, burly defensive line for Dakota, but don't take these offensive linemen for slouches either. They're doing yeoman's work in the trenches as well. That's a short run as the Flyers able to get home on that play. And it's 2nd and 8 for the 15.
Again, Dakota just fascinating to me for a lot of reasons. They're a fun group. You can tell that in the way that they prepare and the way they play.
Flagg's first pass in about a quarter is caught near the line to gain. It'll be a yard short of the 8-yard line, and it's 3rd and short here for the Rhinos, who have had little to no trouble on these 3rd and shorts. They did not convert on the last 3rd down and 1. earlier in the game. We'll see what happens here. Flag and a tuck it and run. He rolls through the tackle, and he will pick up the first down. It's 1st and goal, Dakota.
Billy Flag, doesn't matter. They're up 27 points. They're down 27. If there's grass on the field, Billy Flag plays ball and gets himself another first down there. Maybe not the most talented quarterback, maybe not the most proficient quarterback, but if guts was a stat, Tyler, Billy Flag would be at the top of that list.
Press covered on the outside, 1st and goal. You might see a few more runs from Dakota. No, play action, blitz not picked up. And Harperdue, another sack tonight at the 11-yard line.
Harperdue's not done playing yet either. A lot of pride on the line for these guys. And just right up the middle, you'd think somebody would get on him. You got the center. You got Sights right there. Sights going out on a route, obviously. Just nowhere to go. Great job. And that would say that they have hemmed Billy Flag in relatively well compared to the rest of the league. Maybe not as well as they would have hoped, but relatively well.
13th sack of the game with both teams combined. Flag spinning out of one. He tries to get more yards. He's going to lose yard. Another sack. That's our 14th sack of the night is Donovan Holland with the takedown, and it's 3rd and goal from outside the 10.
Everybody gets a sack tonight. And Holland, who's not even on my roster for some reason, comes in and gets a sack. You know, the sacks are flying fast and furious. And Flag really didn't even have a chance to get the top speed there. And Holland just closing like a beast. A lot of fight left in this Wichita defense, Tyler.
Pressing the outside. Might be able to get somebody open here at the 12-yard line. No, they back off into coverage, so they just have to check it down and tap down. It's Sights of the 8-yard line. And so it's 4th down. The Flyers do hold them to a field goal opportunity. Or we're going to come out and try and make this 24.5-yarder from the right hash. Clock winding down, under 2:30 to go. Snap, spot kick is up, and it is good. A 30-point lead for Dakota with only 2:27 to go here in the ball game. It looks well out of reach at this point, but never say never if you're a betting man.
I guess with Dakota, there are two questions. I mean, the obvious question, can they repeat as UFL champs? I think absolutely they can. I think that they have shown that they're one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the UFL right now. The not so obvious question would be, is this a team that could continue to improve over the course of the season relative to other teams? Because right now, Wichita and the 14 other teams in the UFL have the same sales pitch to prospective players. We need you to help us knock off the defending champs. And Dakota is going to be an elite team in this league through the postseason, but I wonder if they've actually hit their ceiling in terms of what they've been able to do, in terms of how much they're able to improve between now and the end of the season. We talked about Chicago, that has no claimed players on the defensive side of the ball. Wichita has opportunities for players to join up. I'm not sure you could say the same about Dakota if you wanted to look at it from the other side of the glass, so to speak.
Down again, Malachi Pfister. Now all the Pfisters have a sack tonight. That's exactly what they wanted. And the horrid night for Solberg continues. 15th total sack of the game for both teams. Solberg looking near side. He's just all out of whack at the moment.
And I think if the Wichita sideline had any mercy at all right now, they would pull Solberg and let Patrick Roberts finish this game. I think Solberg has done all he can do at this point. And the last thing you want to do is see your quarterback flail about for another 2 minutes and take more damage.
Only a 3-man rush. Solberg looking deep over the middle. It is caught, dropped, and nearly picked off the bounce again. And mercifully for Wichita, it's only 2 minutes to go in regulation. Dakota, the defending champs, are going to get the ball back here with less than 2 to go. And they'll probably just run out the remainder of this game. This punt going to go swirling into the wind and hauled in cleanly. The Flyers will move back to 500 with the loss tonight. They'll go to 4-4. Dakota up to 7-1, tying New York atop of the league standings for the best team in the UFL. And they are in the driver's seat after the first half of the regular season. They'll go back home to Sioux Falls next week to take on Chicago, followed by the border battle with the Minnesota Chippers, and then the Los Angeles Aztecs, a 3-game homestand for Dakota, and what couldn't have been a better time to get it. Chance to really show these fans of the Rhinos why they're the best team in football here on the UFL. For the Flyers, they are on the road next week to Miami before coming back here to Wichita to take on the New Orleans Claws. And then again, they're on the road after that in New York to take on the Lightning. 3rd and 3. Flag is going to try and do it himself on the ground, dancing around in the backfield, taken down at the 46-yard line. Another sack. This time coming the way of Watkins, his 2nd sack of the night, 16th total sack, and possibly our final sack of the game.
I mean, 16 is enough, right? I don't
hope
want to
so.
sound like we need more than 16 sacks at this point, but it's oddly enough we had tremendous amount of defense for a game that it's going to end 37-7. Very impressed with the Fisters, 4 sacks between the 3 of them, and also a sack for Will Edwards, Suki Padre. To say nothing of the interceptions, 2 from Rick Kuhn, including the pick 6. Just a tremendous all-around effort, top to bottom, for this Dakota Rhinos team.
Teco, Cam, and Shat coming up tomorrow in the UFL. 4-3 Dallas faces 4-3 Los Angeles in a battle of heavyweights who both feel their seasons should be going better. Action kicks off at 8:30 p.m. Eastern as Week 8 in the UFL rolls on the Virtual Football Network. That's your final score, 37-7. It was all Dakota for most of the night. Couple of shot plays from Wichita, but that defense was just too strong tonight. Josh, your final thoughts on the game?
Well, I just don't think it's Wichita's night. I think Brett Solberg struggled a little bit out of the gate, and Dakota pounced on him. They bounced to a 10-0 lead earlier in this game. And Wichita had just really no way to get out of first gear. Dakota had them in their rear view all night. This was Dakota's game. They came out, dominated all 3 phases. Hats off to the Rhinos. Congratulations to them.
And that will do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow for UFL Primetime with Eric, Vincent, and Ramos Lynn on the call for that one. And for all of us here, for the Commissioner Cameron Irvine, back in production, for my partner Josh Zirkle, I've been Tyler Falk, signing off from Wichita. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.